We're gonna start 2024 getting red pilled as fuck in this bitch. Misogyny to the max, baby. Let's go. All right, so this is a YouTuber that I came across that does a video essays, not essays. I guess they're more documentaries. Came across him, and this is the one I saw with about George Santos, the American politician, the senator who got fucking booted recently. But came across his channel, and yeah, this is, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of JustPearlyThings. JustPearlyThings is a fucking demon. She's a fucking monster, and I want to see this. Basically, is what it comes down to.
Call the female Andrew Tate. How do you plead?
Well, I take it as a
we're going in strong off rip with female Andrew Tate. If you guys don't know anything about JustPearlyThings, buckle the fuck up. She's the definition of a pick-me girl, and it's fucking crazy. I've followed a good amount about Pearl and what she does, and but I obviously don't know like everything. I don't like track everything that she does. Like I've just seen like a decent amount of shit that she does. Like she's a part of the whole really gross red pill manosphere thing with like the likes of Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, and shit like that. And it's a thing to watch her spout these reactionary talking points. It's something. And I wanna see how this goes.
Because I don't think women should vote. I had this realization that men are smarter and better at everything. Women have been told what we want to hear our whole lives. From a historical perspective, women are pretty bad.
That's a way to start. Yeah, that's a way. Also, I don't know if you guys are even aware of what red pill is. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into that shit before.
So, I understand.
It's really wild. Red pill shit is fucking wild. Unfortunately, a lot of like young men are falling down this rabbit hole.
Definition of a small glistening sphere formed within the crystalline shell of an oyster, highly regarded for its beauty and rarity as a jewel. But if you search Pearl on YouTube,
this is already making me smile and start to laugh more than the Chappelle special. That's because it's fucking hilarious. This is hilarious for all of the wrong reasons. This is very, like, Pearl is very funny for all of the wrong reasons.
you get this.
I'll be listening, but I need to step away from the keyboard for this. Otherwise, I'd just be bashing like key bashing like a motherfucker. Oh, but Suge, you don't wanna miss Pearl. If you've never heard of Pearl, she's a pearl. She's a jewel. It's
What up, guys? Welcome to the JustPearlyThings YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about why women are dumb. How women lie. Realize that the only way we can be great at things is under the authority of a man.
JustPearlyThings is a 26-year-old YouTuber, TikToker.
You hear that? If there's any women lurking right now, I don't know. Sally was here early. Sally, you hearing this? Know your place. No, hold on. I'm just saying what Pearl said. That's it.
In social
In 2024, we're going a new direction, y'all. We're fucking cranking patriarchy to the fucking max, and we're going full on red pill. Let's go.
With a knack for anti-Semitism, who isn't afraid to give her
Oh
opinion
my
on
God.
the appearances of teenage girls, all in an effort to promote the red pill, a community I pray will one day fade into deep obscurity.
Oh, another red pill. Fucking Aiden Ross. I just noticed in that fucking clip. Aiden Ross is a dickhead too. But that clip they showed Fresh and Fit.
Afraid to give her opinion on the appearances of teenage girls, all in an effort to promote
Excuse
the
me?
red.
Wait, what did that tweet say? I saw 16-year-old. What?
This is a 26-year-old YouTuber, TikToker, and social commentator with a knack for anti-Semitism who isn't afraid to give her opinion on the appearances of teenage
16-year-old chicks are hotter than 26-year-old.
girls.
Well, like I said, I don't know what we're in for. I didn't know Pearl tweeted that.
In an effort to promote the red pill, a community I pray will one day fade into deep obscurity.
My husband's texting me. He wanted me to tell you that we will have our daughter ready for you as a virgin.
These influencers alongside Pearl.
That's a weird thing to say. And that's your daughter? You're the mother?
You that we will have our daughter ready for you as a virgin.
These influencers alongside Pearl can be recently seen advocating
that's a
against the 19th
crazy
Amendment.
thing to
I don't
say.
think women should know. Huh? I don't think women should know.
Lord Jesus, keep on going.
Making bold claims about what women really want.
I swear to God, this show has made me believe I think women like to be cheated on.
And pushing to criminalize the
She
person's
blew up on
legal
TikTok,
option
right?
to get
Like, this is way
divorced.
before
Actually,
I
think we
ever
should
got on
ban
TikTok.
divorce, too. Yeah, I think that's.
I did see this. I saw her H3 interview, and it was she got absolutely destroyed by Ethan
Should
Klein.
be banned. Yes.
Okay,
This is the
well,
shit I
that's
just
a
stay
little
away
bit
from,
silly.
as
You
you
have
should.
to acknowledge
I watch
that,
some of
right?
it sometimes because it's funny.
Something you'll hear these people
Have to acknowledge that, right?
No.
Something you'll hear these people often espouse is that women are expected to adhere to a very strict set of arbitrary guidelines in order
High
to be
value
considered
women are
desirable
virgins.
or high value. This is a notion Pearl subscribes to as well. Only the difference between Pearl and her contemporaries is that she, if you haven't noticed, is a woman. A token of femininity floating across a vast sea of testosterone, yearning desperately for a crumb of credibility, even if it means existing only to attack and
Hold on, I'm gonna
demean
go
her
grab some water real quick.
which
I'll
is
be right
a
back.
long way of saying Pearl isn't like the other girls, because she's worse.
And let's just be honest, we're basically like big kids, right? That can just be propagated and like you can push us to do things.
By feeding into the delusions and biases of the most annoying people on the planet, Pearl gets to go viral on Twitter, book primetime television interviews, sell painfully uncreative merch, and produce some of the laziest, most unedited content I've seen in my life.
Maybe you guys.
I'm not gonna lie to you. For a second, I thought my headphones died or like the stream crashed. I was like, why did it get so
Maybe
quiet all of a
she
sudden?
genuinely sees her work as an act of good. Or maybe it's possible that Pearl is only doing all of this to feel a sense of pride and acceptance that she herself has never received. Because believe it or not, Pearl wasn't always like this. Before all the hate and desperation that plagues her image today, Pearl's life actually seemed far less
Is she still active on
polarizing just a
YouTube?
couple
I've never
years
looked up her
ago.
YouTube before. I thought she was just like a TikTok thing, and they just showed
And
YouTube.
She is going to give a chicken coop tour. I don't need no validation. I don't need no validation.
Okay, you don't need no validation.
Ben Shapiro. Oh, she does have a YouTube
A lot
channel.
of you guys have been asking questions. So I kind of ended up being like a full-time
1.9 million
I
subscribers
can
is
actually show you any of Pearl's
crazy.
original TikToks because her first account was banned.
She doesn't
along
get
with her
that many
second
views,
account,
though.
her third account, her
55K,
fourth,
15K,
fifth, you get it. Pearl gets banned
19K,
a lot.
50K.
Years of work, 930,000 followers, and I
Basically, TikTok ruined her? I guess so.
TikTok. I got
I don't-
banned. They banned account
Okay, yeah,
number
she's talking about
3.
TikTok now.
You can't get rid of me, baby. You can't get rid of me, baby. Account number 4.
Like, I don't know
still
much
got
about Pearl.
Free JustPearlyThings.
Besides
Give me my account
seeing
back.
like
In fact, Pearl is
besides seeing cringe shit like this from other content creators, besides seeing cringe shit like this, I don't know much about Pearl. I just know she's a fucking psychopath. That's it.
now on her 8th TikTok attempt, at least at the time of me
8
recording this.
TikTok
Maybe when this
accounts
vid
is
finally comes out, she'll be
crazy.
on her 9th. I mean, God knows it wouldn't be surprising. But as sad as I am to be missing out on what I'm sure is some valuable content,
So I said, "You're a whale. You're a whale. You're a whale." You could see maybe the whale was too far, but she was a bigger woman.
we can still get a good idea of what Pearl was like in 2020 by turning over to her YouTube channel, where she's attained close to 2 million subscribers and over 900 million total views just over the past 2 years.
900
Of course, most of
million
those
views?
aren't totally meaningful considering
Bro,
that the
this
YouTube
whole red
Shorts,
pill
which rarely
thing
translate over
is
to
way
active
bigger than
subscribers or
I think
substantial
people
ad revenue,
realize.
but we'll discuss all that in a bit. It's true that Pearl owes much of her notoriety to the likes of Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit, who she has collaborated with on a number of occasions during her tenure in the red pill community, podcasting alongside inebriated sex workers, sex traffickers, and Nazis.
Welcome, Nick Fuentes.
But when we look at some of her earliest uploads,
All right, I do know that she I guess for a while there, used to interact with Nick Fuentes, who is an out and about straight up fucking Nazi. He's a straight up white supremacist neo-Nazi. That's not an exaggeration. That's not fucking, he's just a straight up Nazi. And I know that because I think Ethan brought it up during the H3 podcast.
So we can
when
say
I watched
Pearl
that
was
interview.
actually once pretty far removed from the characters who make up the manosphere. In fact, I doubt she even knew who any of them were back when she was making things like My First Vlog, A Trip to Florida, Chicken Coop Tour, wrong spelling, and Mansion House Tour, 10 bedrooms.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you the front of the house.
See, Pearl herself comes from a very wealthy, sheltered background in Chicago, with both of her parents, Dan and Jennifer Davis, being quite accomplished software engineers in their own right. Jennifer being listed
so she's doing it for clout then. It has to be.
A multi-million-dollar company the couple founded together. She's now the CEO of another organization she founded, Be Exponential, which is described as an online community seeking to provide tangible and realistic advice to women and mothers specifically navigating parenthood or life as a whole. Their website also mentions that Be Exponential was built by women for women, which is an interesting footnote considering the kinds of things Pearl has been known to advocate for as of recent. For instance, Pearl believes men solely built society by themselves.
Right, Lala.
It must be impossible for women to be oppressed because the men have already solved everything.
Men built the world for women to just shit on them.
Right.
In the world that they built. They built a society that's safe. There's no wars. We have the police to protect us. When they talk about women.
That's right, y'all. This is exactly why we getting red pilled in 2024, baby. Men built the world. There's nothing but peace around. There are no wars, nothing like that. We love the cops.
Being safe. There's no wars. We have the police.
I can't even say that with a straight
when
face.
They talk about
it's
women
crazy.
being oppressed, it's wrong. It's not correct.
She doesn't actually believe men and women are equal, as she's very open about this.
I think there's something evil about telling women we're equal to men because it demasculates the men and it harms the women too because it takes away the one thing we need, which is guidance. The more I think,
okay. Women just need more guidance, y'all. That's it. That's it.
Men, women, children. Maybe government. I haven't decided. I have to think more about that one. The men we reproduce with must be superior because they create everything important. It doesn't seem like we really do much if we don't follow the natural order of the world and we're left to our own devices. So maybe I'm just a sexist. Are my eyebrows good, guys?
So there's no reason for them to have equal roles in society.
That was a take.
In fact, Pearl believes
that
women
was a
tend to
take.
do more damage by being in the workforce.
Whenever we take over an industry, we just like ruin it. It's so sad. We'll like base everything on feeling, like add an HR department. Competitiveness of industries. In the last 100 years, women have really taken over education. And you know what happened when we took over education? Everyone got dumber. Now they have a teacher at a teacher's aide.
Aren't we like the most educated we've ever been before? Isn't that a thing?
That's why I don't think therapy works when they're women. Like, women are just gonna comfort you. They're gonna tell you what you need to hear, and men will tell you how to fix it. But the problem is, like, women, we never want to fix it. Like,
I feel like that's a thing, right?
Yeah, maybe,
or am I wrong? I mean,
women
there are a lot of dumb people out there, that's for sure.
If women's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would probably be fine. But if men's jobs disappeared tomorrow, it would be rough out there.
Yet here is her own mom, essentially proving her wrong, having built up a number of successful organizations, written a best-selling book, and still managed to look after and provide for 10 children.
God damn! She's got 9 brothers and sisters? That's crazy. Holy shit. She must be like one of the middle children, right? And her parents just forgot about her, and that's why she went crazy, right?
All at once. Though Pearl has also
that has to be
weirdly diminish her mother's accomplishments and role in the company, insisting she was never the CEO.
Wait. Oh, I do remember H3 is so stupid. I remember this. Not this tweet, but I remember this part of the interview. H3 is so stupid that they didn't realize my mom was the president of their company, but my dad was the CEO. My mom left her job as a teacher to work at the business my dad started. It was a family business. Why are they bringing up my family in a debate? I do remember Ethan bringing this up during that interview.
EO, despite Jennifer's website claiming the opposite. She may have also accidentally admitted to her parents committing fraud, but that's besides the point.
Wasn't your mom the president? Was she the leader of the company?
What was my... You're researching my family now, huh? They might have titled it one thing or another. They did that to get some grant from the government or something. I don't remember.
Bro, that's straight up fraud. That's fraud. Is what that is. That is fraud. Yes.
The main takeaway here is that Pearl got to experience a lavish childhood as a result of her parents both having high-paying jobs. In fact, one of the times Pearl first blew up was thanks to a TikTok she made about a giant water slide her dad bought her and her siblings. Yeah, some people just live a completely different life than the rest of us. Now I know she thinks a Lamborghini costs 50 grand, but this was
a Lambo
Pearl's
costs 50 grand. I'm going to buy one
stardom,
tomorrow,
a glimpse
baby.
into a life where she didn't have to work a corporate job with Konica Minolta selling printers.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't have 50 grand.
And it was literally like the worst sales job of my life. Like, I hated it.
Does she have braces or something? What is with the rubber bands?
Printers, we never would have gotten these wonderful songs.
Are those like for retainers?
Posted to LinkedIn.
Those are rubber bands, right? In her mouth?
Turns out we're 100% the best, even when we're going crazy, because we do see problems. That's a human in us. Bling bling, then we solve them. That's a salesman in us.
I'm starting to see why she hated working there.
Okay.
Work phone all day when you need a printer. Call me on the work phone.
She can't be real. This could not be a real person. I refuse to believe that this is a real person. This is AI. It has to be.
My name is from Hanukkah. I'll help you save till I can't no more. We got the
I mean, this is just cringe in itself.
Still better than her recent music.
Feminism is the worst thing ever. Yeah, we get our money. Yeah, we get our job. Yeah, we dumped our high school heartthrob. But then we end up alone on antidepressants, all alone.
Pearl spent much of her
Boys and girls, stop. We got the best. We got the next best rapper out there. Spitting bars over here, straight up.
A program that would allow her to move to Europe and play basketball while completing a master's degree until the program fell through, leaving her more time to post on TikTok. This is how she accidentally became a full-time influencer.
Then the season gets canceled again, so I'm just like kind of left like with no job.
At first I thought, oh, she does have braces. Okay.
Like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do next.
At first glance I thought she had like fangs in, like vampire fangs. But I just saw like the metal on her bottom teeth.
How differently Pearl carries herself here compared to now. Trading in her Lakers hoodies and sweatpants for more of a trad wife look that these red pill guys go for, maybe? These are all just my own observations, of course, but I can't help but think I'm watching two different people here.
I blew up on TikTok because I was really blessed.
Hey Zozo, welcome in, girly. How are you?
Nuts. So he bought this like big
Happy New Year. How was your Thursday?
Just told the story.
Also, get in your place. We're turning misogyny up to 11 tonight. We're getting red pilled in 2024, baby. This is our new queen, Pearl.
I think our emotions just get in the way. We're too emotional. We see a problem. We get
see, women too emotional. Obviously.
Maybe she's just not as passionate about the stuff she talks about today.
I haven't seen you talk to an actual scholar once. You just talk to kind of random women.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's fair to say. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you talk to feminists, you just mean like random women off the street. Not like a scholar.
That's say they're feminists.
I mean, after all, this really isn't her forte.
That is so painful.
Hasn't quite dedicated.
You started the year by getting hit by a fucking car?
She only picked it up recently.
Holy shit, are you okay? Like, hopefully you're not watching from a fucking hospital bed. What the fuck?
Bring basically nothing to the table nowadays. But the more I listened to the content and really thought about my experience in the world.
And if you are, I hope you're doing okay. Jesus Christ.
According to one article I found from 2020, Pearl was first gaining traction on TikTok after just several months of creating her account. Her initial claim to fame being her breakup quiz series, in which she wrote a bunch of questions that viewers could then send to their ex-partners to fill out for Pearl to post publicly. And it was pretty successful too, posting the best answers.
Remember us when you're rich from the lawsuit, right?
Submissions. Telling Yahoo, I try to post the most appropriate ones. I know there are kids on this app, so the bigger I get, the more I try to keep it PG. Damn, I wonder when she stopped caring about that.
You were walking across the street and some lady just wasn't paying attention? Holy shit. I'm glad you're good. But see, this is more reason why we're getting red-pilled tonight. We're getting red-pilled in 2024. Women can't drive either. Too emotional, can't drive, ruined education. That's what we've learned so far from Pearl.
Has yet to send the quiz to anyone in her past, considering she's never actually been in a real relationship. Pearl stating, I actually have not had a boyfriend that was serious enough for me to send it to, hence why I had my followers take it. The only long-term relationship I can think of is a guy I talked to for a couple years in college. Which
you always tell your mom that, as you should, Lala.
And normal.
As the man in the house, you need to put her in her place.
Dating later in life, except Pearl might slightly disagree.
Just because you're 35 and you're single doesn't mean you'll be single at 40, at 60, at 70.
Well, but the problem is at 35.
Wait, what did that say? Hold on. I was listening and totally zoned out on what that said.
For a couple years in college, which in itself is totally fine and normal. Everyone moves at their own pace, and there's no shame in dating later in life. Except Pearl might slightly disagree.
Just because you're 35 and you're single doesn't mean you'll be single at 40, at 60.
I did not have the sound effects. I'm sorry. They're so loud. Oh.
Well, but the problem is at 35, you've lost all the things that men value. That's the problem, because men value femininity, fertility, and they value youth. So you can't say you're youthful when you're almost halfway through your life. Like, you can't say you're fertile.
I've been valuing all the wrong things in women, guys.
Pregnancy.
From this day forth, I'm only valuing femininity,
right? So
and fertility. Yeah, fertility.
Not to mention, it's almost been 3 years since this article was published, and to my knowledge, Pearl still has yet to be in an actual long-term relationship. Though there was the time she briefly dated.
Bro, what is this dress? What the? All right, listen. I'm not gonna hate on her style. Do you live your best life? What the fuck?
Not for very long. Her ex-best friend of 22 years, Emily, says that despite her brief time with angry reactions, Pearl has still never had a serious relationship.
Has you ever been engaged?
No, never. And she's never even been in a serious relationship. Like, honest to God, her and Wanye, like,
Didn't she just post a thing about breakups? And she gives dating advice. I do know that.
Run into a bit of a problem. Pearl, as someone who has evidently never been married, never been engaged, never even held down a boyfriend longer than a few months, still somehow has the nerve to tell other women what to do in their relationships. Publicly, it's her job to do that. A huge part of her brand relies on judging other people's marriages from afar. Pearl likes the idea
ban
of being
divorce,
married.
huh?
She wants a family someday and wants to have kids. But does that by itself mean she's a reliable source on how a marriage needs to work?
Feminists ruin marriage. 1.6 million fucking views. Holy shit.
Right to tell
guys, I'm about to start posting red pill content, yo. Apparently that's where all the views are, is red pill shit.
Others how they're doing things wrong.
I like how she trashes women's relationships, can't even get one herself. Exactly. It's crazy.
The way she thinks she wants it.
Women shouldn't vote.
Advice might as well be completely fucking discarded, even by her own metric.
I've noticed a lot of therapists are like older single women, and I'm kind of like, if you can't maintain a relationship, why would I take advice from you?
That's a good question, Pearl. That's a very good question, Pearl.
Like, why would I take advice from you if you can't maintain a relationship?
As Pearl continued to solidify her position in the dating community on TikTok, she eventually discovered a man named Kevin Samuels.
This guy is a whole ass monster. Like, I got recommended him through the YouTube algorithm randomly, and I watched like 1 or 2 of his videos. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I don't even know how it ended up in my feed, actually. No. Okay. I think I found him because there was a YouTuber that I watched, Daquan Wiltshire, who does a lot of like goofy comedy shit. And I think he started doing on his Twitch, like I think I watched a YouTube VOD of it, and he was doing a parody of this guy, and I didn't know who he was, so then I looked him up. I think that's how that started. This was years ago, though.
Who rose to prominence around this time for his videos on relationships, which were a tad bit on the controversial side.
But if you have made it to 35 years old and you're unmarried, You are a leftover woman. It's cheating when you do it. You're cheating. We don't. We just have sex. Women like you die alone.
Okay, maybe a lot bit
Jesus.
on the controversial side. But this is who introduced Pearl to the red pill, name dropping him in a video for the first time in 2021, where she discussed several of his beliefs, specifically his philosophy on cheating.
People cheat, right? Obviously, if you have more opportunity to cheat, you're more likely to do it.
No, not what the fuck, Zozo. We're learning. We're learning from these powerful minds.
See, a lot of this stuff was extremely foreign to Pearl, given that her dad never fit the mold Kevin Samuels often talked about in referencing men. Her dad never drank, never smoked, never cheated, so this kind of rhetoric coming from the manosphere was like a glimpse into a whole new world, one that Pearl was clearly willing to explore. This video in particular may seem from the title that she's challenging Kevin's beliefs, but she more so just kind of says a bunch of words for 5 minutes.
I think a lot of people cheat because of like situations that they put themselves in. So I don't know if that's like a disagreement or what.
In my notes for this one, I just wrote down, "Goddamn, she rambles. She doesn't even make much of a point here, LMAO."
I'm half paying attention to driving, half paying attention to you guys.
Oh, you should pay attention to driving. See, this is why women shouldn't drive. Right there. Right there. Pearl, you're making a whole lot of sense right now.
Their arguments and regurgitating their talking points on her own platforms.
Okay, fourth thing I've learned from the manosphere, and I'm not going to talk about if this is true or not true. Women are always willing to leave you for a better option. Women today are less marriageable than ever before. Like, women can.
I'm learning so much right now.
All of your money. Women will do things like withhold sex if they don't do like chores or something.
She was so excited to share what she had learned, in fact, that she even brought her family into the mix, which had some varying results.
Today, I have a special guest on the channel, my little sister, Amelia. She's super excited to be here. I'm going to be
she looks psyched. She looks absolutely psyched to be there.
Because she would not be, she's not willing to sit down for a full clip, so.
Yeah, her sister does not give even a single fuck. Just please let her go.
Do you think women get upset at men a lot? Depends. Do you think they say things like men are trash a lot?
She's being held hostage against her will.
Really? Depends on the guy you're talking about. Do you think, but in general, do you think that's okay? Like, men are trash, like just in general? I don't know. I don't know.
Nah, Miss Andrews whack.
I mean,
Miss Andrews just as whack as
in front of
misogyny.
a laptop and forcing her to watch Fresh and Fit is bad enough.
They're kind of
Fresh and Fit are fucking garbage. Oh my god.
Stop looking like I'm torturing you.
Why
I mean, you are torturing that poor girl. Let her go. She's got to have chains on her legs right now, right? Like she's like strapped to the chair.
What does your YouTube feed look like on a daily basis? It literally looks like this stuff. It's like men's dating advice. You are so single.
But why are you also exposing her to the repulsion that is your community? I mean, comments are insane. She has no life in her. She's gonna do hard drugs when she gets older. She for sure is not attracting anyone in life. She will die alone. I'm not sure if she's strictly heterosexual. Your sister is
These all look like
clueless.
very
Like,
well-adjusted
just a teenager
commenters
who
on
doesn't wanna
YouTube.
watch Kevin Samuels
Surely
videos
all
at
of those
2 in the
people
morning.
are in
That's
healthy
unreasonable.
relationships.
That was Kevin Samuels. What did you think? Did you think what he said was true or false? I don't know.
If I tried showing my little sister some of Pearl's videos, I think she'd deck me in the face.
I prefer Kevin Samuels to Fresh and Fit. I prefer Minecraft YouTubers.
Watching Pearl try to get regular people on
She's like,
board with
when are
her
we gonna
new
watch
belief
Minecraft,
system
yo?
is
Because
truly a
this
sight to
ain't it right
A
now.
girl will only love a guy like that's like the best she can get. But if she has a better option, like that makes more money, is more attractive, is like just a better all-around option, she'll leave her current like boyfriend or husband for them. Oh.
I mean, just here you can tell your friend isn't really invested in this conversation.
She said, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure."
Basically, the candy store analogy is like that's candy, and girls get it right away. But most guys, you don't have access to sex till their late 20s, early 30s. Okay. So if you
Oh
get
shit.
married, like before
Men don't have access to sex until their late 20s and early 30s. That's probably why I'm still a virgin, actually. That actually makes sense. That resonates with me. She gymmed the camera. Straight the fuck up. What's up, Rumpel? Welcome in, my guy. How are you? How was your new year?
Watching Pearl try to get regular people on board with her new belief system is truly a sight to behold.
I like his hair.
A girl will only love a guy like that's like the best she can get. But if she has a better option, like that makes more money, is more attractive, is like just a better all-around option, she'll leave her current like boyfriend or husband for them.
Oh.
I mean, just here you can tell my friend isn't nearly as invested in this conversation.
Basically, the candy store analogy is like, sex is candy.
You're right. You're right. And she straight up looked at that camera like, okay. Yeah, this is crazy, Rumple.
So
This is great.
Married, like, before that. They think that like girls should put up.
She can't possibly really believe this shit, right? Like this has to be clout, right?
The guys, because
for like YouTube
now,
clicks and
at
views.
35, they finally put out their money right. They got to the gym for 5 years, did all this stuff. And now they get to have.
Well, I guess it's not too crazy because when I watched some of the Kevin Samuels shit, there were a lot of women that used to call into his show
If you try to bring that to any
because he had like a call-in show. Like from the 1 or 2 videos that I watched, I think I watched like 2-hour-long videos of Kevin Samuels, and he has like a call-in show. Or he had, I think he's dead now, but he had a call-in show, and a lot of women actually would call in for advice from that man, and I thought that was very strange. It was basically him kind of berating them, and it was, I don't know, it was weird, and that's how I got I ended up into, well, not into, but how I ended up seeing Fresh and Fit for the first time, and I watched a couple of their podcasts, and that one, that's it. That's a thing.
Frequent incel forums on 4chan, you're gonna sound insane. When you have to keep telling your friend not to read any of what the chat is saying on your own live stream, you know you're cultivating a really awesome fan base.
You can't read the comments. Yeah, you can't read the comments too. Like you can't.
Which of course has only gotten better with time. 73% of these people don't think gay people should
gay people be able to adopt? No.
76% think trans people should be institutionalized. I mean, what the fuck are these questions, Pearl? It's no surprise that when you confront someone in the real world with these kind of talking points,
let's
you don't
go.
get much of a positive response.
Are women really that smart?
I like how that man looked up like, what the fuck did you just say? What did you just say?
That smart?
this man, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? What are you talking about?
Oh, you think we're equal? I think the men are smarter.
That's the most normie dude ever, and he's just like, yeah, why not? He just like, get me off the fucking camera. I don't care.
Being amongst the most vocal after Pearl publicly lied about her being too fat to get pregnant.
So Hannah and I were friends from 2002 pre-K until last
Hannah?
year when I stopped being friends with her. So
wait, did she say Hannah? Her name's Hannah?
Pre-K.
Fat to get pregnant.
So Hannah and I were friends from 2002 pre-K until last year when I stopped being friends with her. So in the beginning of her video, she's talking about our last conversation we had a year ago in March, where I confronted her about talking about women's bodies and their weight and all that cuckoo bird shit she talks about. And I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? And no, she defended it all. So I was like, okay, we're done. I'm sorry.
I mean, these two were close friends. There's no disputing it. Pearl is deluding herself to the point that it's affecting her personal life. Just like how Sneeko's family didn't invite him to Christmas.
Bro, Sneeko is a whole ass thing. I don't know if you guys saw the fucking, like, he got into a beef with like Moist Critical Charlie. That shit was fucking funny. And Sneeko's gone down this whole ultra right wing fucking red pill bullshit lane too. But that shit's funny. It's genuinely funny.
This is the first year I'm not going home for Christmas. They don't, I have a blue hair woke family, kind of like you, and they don't fuck with my politics at all.
I mean, it doesn't take a blue hair people to not want to fuck with your politics. Like the
It's never got to the point. It's never got to the point where I've been like uninvited for Christmas.
Bro, if your family is uninviting you from for Christmas, maybe take that as a sign. Maybe.
Women should give back their rights.
Also, I want a fourth monitor.
Are so inherently
I feel like I need a fourth
and
monitor.
Inconsequential compared to what the average American is dealing with. We're living in a country where 30 million people are without health insurance. Millions of already employed people are having to work multiple jobs just to put food on the table. Almost half the population can't even afford a decent home. I mean, you see how these conversations Pearl wants to have are kind of silly. Yeah, I get the irony of me sitting here making a video on her, but my brain is broken. So of course I'll indulge her arguments a little bit. I just want to be sure that we're keeping this whole mess in perspective, at least. Like, man, people are just trying to make it through the day. The last thing anyone wants to do is listen to JustPearlyThings tell them what age disqualifies women from finding a partner. Who cares?
It's crazy
Also,
to me that people like this are making a living off of this shit.
What the fuck was she cooking here?
Not that it's literally any excuse that she's doing this, because what she is doing, I can't even put into words how disgusting.
Like, this is just grifting, right? It has to be.
2002. I do not think she thinks that way. If she does,
yeah,
her all over again, I don't care. But I don't think she does. I think she does it to rev people up and to get more views.
It's got to be a
get
clout
money.
play.
So
It's got to be.
Say, I'm curious to see once she does find a husband and find a man, is she gonna keep this act up? Because is she gonna find somebody that shares these exact views with her?
That won't go well for her.
Or is she gonna meet someone and be like, okay, I don't actually think this way.
According to both Emily and Angry Reactions, Pearl's bizarre obsession with churning out the most mind-numbing takes imaginable seemed to happen overnight.
Because a lot of people be in my comments be like, she had to have been like this when y'all was dating. Bro, no, she wasn't at all. She was not like this, bro.
I mean, we know she used to be normal-ish. What happened then? How do you go from making such innocuous vlogs with your family to outright pandering to the lowest form of men on Twitter with no shame? Well, without making any unreasonable assumptions here, we know from Emily that Pearl has been consistently fixated on finding a boyfriend in the past, staying up late into the night, and
so she's just sad and lonely, right? Like, that's the thing.
Attaining a high-value man.
I mean, that has to be how she got into this shit, right? Like, she's looking for male dating advice so that she can appeal. Like, that was the play at first, and then I guess she figured out she could grift off of this, maybe.
Facts and stuff like that, and she would be up late like doing it. And I'm like, just stop. Yeah, just stop doing that. Like, let's just naturally look for a man.
Which, again, is fine. Everyone deserves to find love. Except I don't know how she expects to do it when this is how she advertises herself to the public.
It's such a weird thing to tweet, man.
Exactly why she pivoted
what
so
the
hard
fuck?
Content. We simply don't know the definitive reason as to why she's so susceptible to the manosphere. And oh wait, there is a reason, and she said it herself? Oh, okay.
Or even girls still ask me, like, how can you listen to this man? And I have one answer for you. Low self-esteem.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's what that is. That's all that is.
This sexist trash basically boils down to, oh, it's because I hate myself.
From a young age,
oh,
I haven't thought highly of myself. I never
there it is. Yeah, that's all that is.
A lot, to be honest.
So yeah, just like I was saying, she got into it because she couldn't find anybody, and she thought that would be a good play.
And I never.
And so she's got to be grifting. She's got to be grifting, man.
Super highly. I'm gonna just be honest here.
Oh.
From a young age,
This is actually kind of sad right now. Hold on. I was sitting there talking. I want to hear what she's saying. This is actually kind of sad.
And I never thought of myself super highly.
Bro, is she gonna cry?
I'm gonna just be honest here. From a young age, I was what you call humbled, okay? Most of my friends, right, were generally like more attractive than me. I was never the hot friend. Most guys, even the average guys, they would ask me about my friend first. And if that didn't work out, then they would come crawling to me. So
she's gonna cry in the car.
I would say low self-esteem.
She's legitimately gonna cry in the car.
Yeah, being humbled. That's why I can listen to Manosphere content.
This to me is an extremely telling moment, if not a pretty
yeah,
it reveals how Pearl truly sees herself, and how all the hate and misogyny that the Manosphere offers actually confirms all the.
Also, the cry in the car thing. I was kind of laughing at her a little bit, but it's mostly because that's a line in Friday, the movie Friday with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. I don't know if y'all seen it. He's like, he's gonna go cry in the car.
always
That's what that was. Just so I can put that out there.
When you view yourself with such little regard as a person and accept that this must be just who you are, your life becomes so one-dimensional and boring. I mean, who wants that for themselves? This all may sound harsh, but it is so hard to talk about Pearl's content without also seeing how deeply intertwined it is with her own.
I kind of feel bad for
her
her now,
persona
honestly.
screams insecurity and desperation to the point where she has been widely coined.
Like, I was having fun, like,
just
dunking
about
on her
everyone.
earlier,
And you
just
can't
laughing
blame
at her.
them
Now I
because
kind of feel
being a
bad.
pick-me is in the very nature of the character she portrays.
Permission? I want to give him permission, but if I chose to go down the path of high value man, I would know that it's a possibility, and I don't think I would want to ruin an entire family over that.
If I was super in love and I had children with a man and I was really, really in love with him, he was a good man overall, I think I'd be lying if I'd say that I couldn't get over it. We should try to give men grace. I think that's part of relationships. That's part of life.
Like, I think if a woman cheats, she's trying to leave you. If a man cheats,
Yes.
he's just like,
He's getting off.
it's like a handshake.
I think we can all agree Pearl needs to chill the fuck out, and maybe she can do so with today's sponsor.
The SpongeBob.
Vanswell specializes in manufacturing only the best CBD on the market, using all natural ingredients which you can find listed next to each product on their website, along with certified lab testing sheets for ultimate peace of
Okay, we
mind,
just got
which
like
I
an ad
especially
here.
appreciate, given that in
I'm gonna
today's
skip the ad. Skip the ad.
Yeah, but so this is the perceived value of the women. And you know, maybe this would be the value of the women.
What is this graph? What is this graph? What does this mean? What is this in comparison to?
And then if we were virgins and offered men like 7 children. But the actual value is more.
Also, 7 children is crazy. I'm sorry. Anybody who might have a big family, I'm not throwing shade, but that's crazy. That's too many children. 2, like, I wouldn't mind having 2 kids, maybe a third, but that's 7 is crazy.
Value of the women. And you know, maybe this would be the value of the women if we were virgins and offered men like 7 children. But the actual value is more like here. You know what? No, that's a little too high. I'm gonna make it lower.
What is this graph?
Pearl uploads multiple times a day to her channel, which means we get clips like
Multiple
these on an
times a
incredibly
day?
frequent basis.
Does she still? I mean, I looked at her YouTube a second ago, but I didn't look at
So
dates.
if a traditional man wants children, he can't pick a fat chick. They're like, okay, if she's already chubby in her 20s, then I have a lifetime of, you know.
It is exhausting just how
Holy
dedicated
shit.
this woman is to embarrassing herself on such a public level. I mean, just look at these thumbnails and titles, man. Men are not interested in modern women. Modern women got schooled. Modern women will never understand this. I am not shitting you when I say the words modern woman have appeared in over 600 of her titles over the past year alone. So yeah, you could say Pearl has tapped into her own little niche, which is pretending she knows everything while saying absolutely nothing.
You go from an 80%, and people dispute these numbers left and right, but you go from an 80% chance of a happy marriage with 0 partners to a 20% with 5+.
In one clip titled Pearl Drops the Mic, Pearl blamed birth control for turning women into hoes before going on to say no-fault divorce laws have allowed these evil women to ruin their families because social media has convinced them they deserve
That's
men
it. She's
they
right.
aren't hot
She's right.
enough for.
I'm going
Which
full
might
red
make
pill,
some
guys.
sense if you have
She's
the
right.
dating maturity of a 14-year-old boy. Otherwise, this just sounds like a lazy mess of assumptions and painfully broad generalizations of women who get divorced.
Birth control allowed hoes to be hoes. The provider, the hoes don't pick the
Yeah, that's right. We need to abolish
no-fault
birth control, guys.
Then
Absolutely,
the government funded
1000%.
them leaving. And then social media made girls that are 6s think they're 9s and 10s. They break up their home because they think they can do better and they can't. Class dismissed.
I mean, how is this meant to be convincing? Well, it's not supposed to be convincing. It's supposed to reinforce the stereotypes men have of whatever qualifies in their minds as modern women. Here is Pearl, a woman, saying
Wait, who are
things that
these?
feed
Okay, well,
directly
never mind.
into
Never
the
mind.
biases
I
of
take that
someone
back.
displeased
I was about to say,
with
who are
women
these
having
men?
access to
But
things like birth
clearly,
control,
this is a very
Instagram,
lucrative
or
grift.
divorce. Here is a
So,
woman
evidently,
reassuring
there are
them
plenty
they're
of people who
right
believe
without
this shit.
actually citing any direct
Which is
evidence or
insane
examples
to
as
me.
to why. And the morons in the comments eat it the fuck up. This chick should win the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Pearl's dad is Chuck Norris. We need smart people like her.
All of these guys are single incels. they all have these have to be incels. I refuse to believe
in
otherwise.
Congress and Senate, she's doing the
Ain't
work
no
of the
fucking
Lord.
shot.
She should run for
No shot.
Congress. You gotta respect the way these freedom-loving patriots want the federal government to strip rights.
Like none
away
of these
from the
people
African
commenting on these videos
Why women shouldn't
has
vote.
ever touched a woman.
Yes, okay.
Ever.
I would like to tell
I
you
refuse
how
to believe
I came to this
otherwise. There's no
conclusion.
way.
I wanted to
No
know
way.
why men were so angry about women. When I started researching the stuff, it was pretty easy to figure out why. 90% of women have been on birth control. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion. 1 out of 3 women has an STD. Average body count is over 5, so that your average wife has slept with over 5 people. 95% of women are not virgins on their wedding days. I understand the complaint.
See, the YouTube Shorts format fits Pearl's arguments a lot more suitably than a full-length, fleshed-out video could. The 60-second time limit lends itself to the inherent lack of nuance.
Is there
in
a
her
60-second
beliefs.
time
Plus,
limit on
these get
YouTube
way more
Shorts?
views,
I didn't
too. I don't know
I didn't
what it is,
realize
but there's
that.
just something about these shorts.
I've watched some
that
shorts
takes the
before, but I
algorithm by
don't
storm.
generally
There's way
like
more
scroll
potential to go
shorts or
viral here
anything.
than anywhere else. Without any extra efforts, you can get 22 million people to watch this.
If my son came home from school one day and said to me, "Look, Mum, I'll be honest with you, I think I'm gay."
TikTok has
I would take
ruined
it on,
social
and
media,
I'd be
man.
open.
Everybody's doing
What
this
if your
short
son
shit
came home and
now.
said, I think I'm black.
Excuse?
Well, I mean, obviously, obviously, I'd have to sit him down and be like,
So you don't think if you thought he was the opposite gender, you might need to sit him down and
tell him that he's well, that's what I said. I mean, I would listen to him.
Yeah, so if you got that one,
Gender
she
is a
didn't
social
actually destroy
construct.
The woke woman, as the title insists. She just changed the fucking subject entirely, multiple times too. How is acknowledging a difference between race, sexuality, and gender owning anybody in this circumstance? Hey, Mom, I think I might be gay. Are you black? That's not the same thing. Oh, okay.
I'm
so
gonna
now you
lose my
wanna change
mind.
your gender.
I'm gonna
Well,
go
you
get
just
some more
pussy.
water. I'll be
Wow,
right back.
children
This
sure
is
are dumb.
genuinely.
Also, the way she sits there in silence as if she just made some epic clapback that left the room speechless. Like, no, they're speechless because what you just said was so mind-numbingly stupid, they're in literal awe. It's honestly pretty inspiring to think someone could be so confidently wrong on so many things. I think we can see pretty plainly that when Pearl isn't pulling random shit out of her ass, she's deliberately neglecting context to prove a point. Like, for example, here. As you can see, even Pierce Morgan still has the awareness to call Pearl out for ignoring the fact that many women, back when it was illegal for them to vote, were still willing to take less opportunity because that's what they had been conditioned to accept. And instead of rebutting this with anything specific,
Did they say
or concrete,
Pierce Morgan? Was she on Pierce Morgan? Shut the fuck up. Ain't no way.
she's deliberately neglecting.
Bro, I didn't realize she got that big. I didn't realize she was that fucking big. I knew she was a thing, but like, holy shit.
Context to prove a point. Like, for example, here. As you can see, even Pierce Morgan still has the awareness to call Pearl out for ignoring the fact that many women, back when it was illegal for them to vote, were still willing to take less opportunity because that's what they had been conditioned to accept. And instead of rebutting this with anything specific or concrete, her counter just does more to reinforce his point.
I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. And I couldn't figure out, like, why would women not? No, it's true. It's true. You look it up.
At the time.
At the time.
Because they've been conditioned by men to think that they shouldn't have a vote.
I mean,
correct.
That's what they say, but, you know, I started reading their writings, right? And what I found out was that
Reading their writings,
a lot of
huh?
women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family.
Yeah, obviously, that's what their writing is gonna say. How does that mean they weren't being brainwashed?
It also goes back to responsibility. Men are 80 to 90% of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run.
That's called
So I just
patriarchy.
think if
Yes.
we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Go apply to be on the oil rigs. Go be a plumber. Go be an electrician. Go be on the front lines of the military. And then we should have equal rights. But until feminists are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, well, I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might.
Bro! Yo! This is the most unhinged fucking thing. Okay. I love Pearl. Pearl is now my new favorite person. She's my new favorite person. She's now the queen of the channel. Absolutely. She's our new queen. That was fucking wild.
Girls believe we should have equal rights, but until feminists are willing to
Listen, like I was saying earlier when I found this channel and I saw the George Santos one, That one was pretty funny. This is something else. I didn't know all this about fucking Pearl, yo. Hannah. Her name's Hannah, evidently.
Until feminists are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom.
Look at her face. Look at her face. Look at her face. Oh, that face is so good.
Are willing to do that.
Look at her face. She's like, this bitch right here. I swear to God, if these cameras weren't on, I would choke the shit out of you.
I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, but I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might be.
Pearl's position here seems to be that because men supposedly do all the heavy lifting in society, then we deserve certain privileges like the right to vote. Since women are, according to her, not contributing the same as men, they shouldn't get those same rights. But a policy like this wouldn't make much sense because not all men are doing such hard, intense labor. I'm not making this video from atop an oil rig, so would I still get to vote?
I'm actually streaming right now from atop an oil rig because I'm a real fucking man. That's right.
Pearl land? I guess this is something Pearl realized though, because by the very next day, she was clarifying that not all men should be allowed to vote either. So there you go.
We have to define what is the infrastructure.
Well, good thing I'm streaming from atop an oil rig so I can vote.
Building the buildings, paving the roads. Now remember, women do teaching, we do nursing, but if those jobs went away.
Yeah, teaching and nursing. 2 jobs that society could not function without.
Okay, the infrastructure of society would still run. We would still have food. We would still have water. We would still have a military. Why should we have an equal say?
Maybe because you're still living in society? Why should not participating in the specific fields you mentioned disqualify someone from choosing how our communities are governed? If everyone is affected by the actions of the government, then everyone should ideally have a say. I mean, this shouldn't even be a debate. Plus,
correct.
Pearl overlooks the other countless jobs that are crucial for society to run. I mean, just the fact that she's so quick to dismiss teachers and nurses really underlines what little of a grasp she has.
The nursing one is very crazy to me. I mean, okay, like education is obviously very important as well, but the nursing thing is crazy to me. Like we shouldn't have like medical professionals, and how are we gonna have those medical professionals without fucking education?
The world around her. If nurses
Oh my
disappeared,
God.
our healthcare infrastructure would
Shug,
immediately crumble.
if you're
and
still
teachers
listening,
disappeared, we'd
I
all
understand
turn out like
what you were saying now. I get it. I get it. I literally just pulled out a strand of my own hair. I'm literally pulling out my hair right now.
British Prime Minister.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. Let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Pearl's just a misogynist. I just hate women.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
a dummy YouTuber.
Yeah, she gets it.
Yeah, well,
she
you
gets
said
it.
that, not me.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
say, when literal children are agreeing with your takes, it might be time to reconsider some things.
Girls don't work as hard as the boys.
Bro, stop. See, I'm sitting here laughing at this, but this is genuinely a problem. Like Andrew Tate was a fucking poison on this planet, fucking with little boys as well. And if she's doing the same to little girls, this is very unfortunate, honestly. That's sad. That's really fucked
something
up.
off like there are more sex workers in America than teachers, which has certainly been contested. As the most recent stats on prostitution from 2016 estimate there to only be a total of 1 to 2 million sex workers living in the US compared to 4 million teachers as of 2023. But let's just be
Well, that's a little misleading. I mean, he only looked up the numbers for prostitutes. Oh, he's looking up OnlyFans too. Okay. I was gonna say there's more to sex work than just prostitution.
super generous and say Pearl was also counting the 2 million or so OnlyFans creators in her tweet as well. That will put the number closer to 4 million, I guess, but it's clear she's not really going off of any hard numbers. And even if there were more sex workers than teachers, so
it doesn't
what?
matter.
What is
Exactly.
Pearl
So
even
what?
trying to
It doesn't
prove
matter.
here? That women are less interested in teaching the next generation and more interested in being sluts? I mean, what is the insinuation? If anything, it would just prove how thankless of a job teaching has become. It's not surprising that people would turn
I know
to a job
teachers.
that actually
True.
pays them. If you want there to be less women on OnlyFans, Pearl, then you should be advocating for things like higher wages and better working conditions. But she doesn't even want
Teachers are
women to be
not
teachers
paid
in the
enough.
first
That's
place.
just concrete facts.
The way one man used to teach. They now have a teacher.
Excuse?
Teachers in the first place.
2 women cannot teach the way one man used to teach.
You hear that, ladies? Is any ladies in chat right now listening? You hear that? Can't teach as well as men.
They now have a teacher. And a
Pearl
teacher
said it.
aide
It's just
on
facts.
average in
Shit's just
class.
true, yo.
And it used to be one man, and the men used to have better outcomes.
Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of data on this subject in general, and I have no idea which study Pearl could possibly be pulling from here. I wonder why that is. But the Center for Global Development lists the results of a few experiments from several countries, noting that in Ecuador, children were randomly assigned to teachers for 4 years, and researchers examined the impact of teacher gender on math scores. They found that teacher gender does not affect the math achievement of boys or girls, with similar results coming from other countries like China as well as Korea, where female students performed substantially better on standardized tests when assigned to female teachers. As far as Western countries go, the CDG notes that studies tend to find little or no effect, other than at least one from the US that found a positive one. And that's just me going off whatever
Why
studies
would there
I
be
could
an
find.
effect
I am absolutely
on
lost
teaching
in figuring
based
out
on
where
gender?
Pearl is getting her information. But who am I to question the omniscient foresight of the all-powerful Pearl Davis? In fact, she's actually somewhat of a psychic. That's right, this woman can see directly into the future.
Zendaya is gonna leave his ass. I'm just, her hypergamy is gonna get the best of her. I'm sorry, Zendaya is like a sweetheart, and I think a lot of like high value men are gonna be interested in her. It's not that Tom
Wait,
Holland.
hold on. Are we saying Tom Holland is not a high value man now? Are we gonna slander Tom Holland? Hold on. We're not gonna talk about Spider-Man like this.
Sweetheart, and I think a lot
This is
of like,
unacceptable
high-value men
behavior.
are going to be interested in her. It's not that Tom Holland isn't a high value man, he is, but I just think more high value men are going to be interested, and I think she's going to go for it. I give it 6 months.
To know the exact inner workings of a celebrity's private dating life is certainly an impressive talent to have. And what an amazing fountain of knowledge.
Wait, are they
Pearl
not
is.
together
Except
anymore?
she's so
I don't
far
really
removed
follow
from
like
reality,
Hollywood
it
stuff.
makes me a little worried.
Like I
Just
love
her
movies and shit,
incredibly
but I
weird
don't
and
follow
intrusive
like
video
Hollywood
here,
drama or
where she
whatever.
speculates on Tom Brady's divorce from his wife Giselle. Once again, blaming their separation on the fact that Tom was making less money playing football than Giselle did.
Speaking of Giselle, that whole never mind. I'm not gonna get into that.
As a
Never mind.
supermodel.
Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Tom divorced last year. Now, there are a couple warning signs that a woman is going to leave your ass.
I am gonna go pee though,
Number
real quick.
one is
Be right
that
back.
she
All this water is
out-earns
making me
you.
want to pee.
Most women have a modern mindset where they think they are better than a man because they out-earn him.
Man, you don't know the reason for their divorce, so what are you even saying? This is something Pearl has suggested in the past, that women who out-earn their husbands tend to leave them.
That's one of the #1 predictors of divorce. If a woman out-earns her husband, she is more likely to leave.
But there's a reason Pearl doesn't cite any sources when she says things like this. According to sociologists from the University of Wisconsin-Madison and the University of Pennsylvania, the divorce rate for couples married in the 90s with female breadwinners has fallen to just 4% higher than those with male breadwinners, which is a massive improvement compared to couples married in the 60s and 70s who were 70% more likely to divorce when wives earned more or the same as their husbands. Marriages with female breadwinners are actually succeeding way more today than ever before in the past, but that's not the kind of context Pearl would give you because it doesn't fit her overly simplistic view of the world. By ignoring the circumstances around a set of data, Pearl will often use real numbers to arrive at a faulty conclusion that fits her narrative. Not to mention there's basically zero indication that money played a role at all in Giselle leaving Tom Brady. Back in reality, Giselle has stated, sometimes you grow together, sometimes you grow apart. When I was 26 years old and he was 29 years old, we met, we wanted a family, we wanted things together. As time goes by, we realized that we just wanted different things, and now we have a choice to make. And that's basically all we know. They've otherwise kept things pretty private for a reason, and I don't think we should know anything more than what they're willing to share, nor is it appropriate to speculate. And it certainly isn't appropriate to manipulate their story to fit your own agenda in front of 500,000 people.
Now, why is it rumored that they divorced? Oh, he was working on his career too much. But the funny thing is, if the men were not working on their careers, we would not want them anyway. And what you can see is this is a control tactic of modern women.
The way Pearl is speaking here, you think Giselle hates
A control
Tom with a burning
tactic of
passion,
modern
which is
women.
completely
Okay.
untrue, as she
Got you,
stated
Pearl.
herself. She still loves and wants the best for her ex-husband, hands down. Going on to say that rumors circulating about them are actually very hurtful and the most ridiculous thing she's ever heard. Pearl also refuses to believe that Tom could have possibly done anything to warrant Giselle initiating a divorce, despite there not being enough reliable information to indicate that. She's just pinning total blame for a situation she doesn't understand onto a woman because that's what's most convenient. And then she has the nerve to craft an entire narrative in an effort to generalize more women. I mean, do you see a problem? Like, this is what she does.
He can do everything right, and his wife will still divorce his ass. Women are never happy. You can give a woman everything she wants, and she will never be happy.
I mean, Pearl is
Bars,
literally just
spitting
writing her own
facts.
fan fiction about a celebrity couple she will never meet. The title is just blatant clickbait. Not once during these 7 minutes of absolute torture does she give even a single
7
example of Giselle
minutes?
getting furious.
How long are her
at
YouTube
anything. You're
videos?
just using famous
Now
names to Trojan horse your
I'm just
accuser
so
beliefs
curious
because
right
nobody
now.
cares what you have to say otherwise. And as a Cowboys fan, I hate the Pearl is making me defend Tom Brady. But reinforcing parasocial relationships with
Where's her
football
YouTube?
players
Where's her
honestly
YouTube?
pales in comparison to clickbaiting a person's
Of
actual
course she
death
was on
like she
fucking
does
Ben
in this
Shapiro.
video.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to Pearl Daily. We have a OnlyFans model.
An
who
hour-long vid. Oh,
trying
this
to
must
be
be
a
a
whore.
podcast. Oh,
That
okay,
is
she's got a
actually
podcast. I was
how
like,
the
an hour
video
long is
starts.
crazy.
Never mind the fact that she wrongly labeled
Well,
this lady as an
I say that while
OnlyFans
watching a
model,
fucking
as there is
hour-long
nothing
fucking
in the
YouTube
news
video.
to confirm that. She was an Instagram model who tragically lost her life in 2017 while under the influence. She leaned herself out of a moving car that her friend
Oh, I
was
remember
driving
this.
hit a
And she got
lamppost.
hit
It's
by
an
like a pole,
absolutely
yeah.
horrific situation. And of course,
I remember
that's
seeing that
not
video
something she
online. It
should
was
have been
crazy.
doing, but she also didn't deserve to lose her life, as Pearl's thumbnail implies.
Yeah,
I mean, her
yeah,
family
yeah.
lost a loved one, and Pearl can't have any respect for them. Pearl mentions this situation in the title and thumbnail in a 54-minute episode of her podcast. Yet only 2 minutes are spent at the very end actually discussing what happened. And when we finally do get to that part, Pearl's commentary is just this.
You know, we're so addicted to attention these days. Women are addicted to attention. She became so attention addicted that it literally led to her death. And we see case after case after case. We see this as a trend, a growing trend. More women getting so addicted to social media that they ruin their marriages. You know, they don't watch their children, and they literally die for attention. And I think we gotta identify trends. So let me know what trends you see happening in society, and let me know what you want me to cover tomorrow on Pearl Daily. Make sure you like the video on your way out.
I mean, to look at this tragedy.
No,
and
Pearl, I don't think I will.
I wonder how
I don't
can
think
use
I'll be
this to
doing
my
that.
ideological advantage is sickening, to the point that even some of Pearl's own fans have called it out. But Pearl isn't in the business of being tasteful or compassionate. For example, if this is your genuine reaction to peaceful protesters being forcibly manhandled into the back of an unmarked vehicle at the hand of an oppressive government, I'm not going to take you seriously on anything.
F around and find out. In the US, we have a whole month dedicated to gay people. We have flags everywhere. They're pushing gayness in the schools. There was a gay pride parade in Russia. Putin said, no, thank you. Keep that ideology out of here. And this is what happens. They shove the LGBTQ plus down your throat.
Shoving their agendas down our throats by holding a fucking sign.
God,
Are
I
you
cannot
really that
stand
threatened,
this
Pearl,
right-wing
by a person
reactionary
standing?
horse
These
shit,
people
man.
didn't choose
It's
to be oppressed.
so
They're trying to be
annoying and
recognized for who they are.
exhausting.
They're embracing their true selves in the face of a very real legal and physical danger, which is leagues more courageous than anything Pearl could even dream of doing for herself.
China has also shut down the Beijing LGBT Center, the last large LGBT organization in the country. I really think the US should take notes.
She's unironically advocating for the imprisonment of people on the basis of something they cannot change, which is some Nazi shit, Pearl. That's just some Nazi shit. I hate to break it to you.
Where is my straight
By her dictionary, she needs to learn what ideology means.
Hopelessly unmarried and
I mean,
unhappy
also
month for
based on her
you specifically.
ideology, why am I listening to a woman? Why should I take anything she
Putting
says
sexuality
seriously?
on a pedestal. Oh, you mean like what you do for a fucking living?
We have women that really are, I would say,
Like, shouldn't
genetic,
she be like barefoot in the kitchen or some shit by her own fucking, by her own stance, her own ideology?
51 and twice divorced. Literally, this woman.
Oh, is that the fucking
Pearl?
chick from what's her
End of
name?
her life? She's 50
From yeah, Sofia Vergara.
years old. Is she gonna die of old age
Vergara.
at 56?
What does life look like at 70 for her when her looks?
She's still super hot for being like 50 something. She's in a Modern Family, right? With
yeah, you don't know.
What's
That's
that
the whole
one dude?
point. Pearl's
I forget his name.
ideology
He was in Married with
insists that
Children.
Unless you marry young and begin popping out as many babies as you can physically muster, you aren't living up to your.
I almost said Ed
potential
Helms,
as a
but
woman.
that's the
I
dude
mean,
from
for
The Hangover.
fuck's sake, she suggested prosecuting anyone who does OnlyFans.
I was thinking if they made OnlyFans illegal, the influencers couldn't do it so openly. I reserve the right to prosecute you.
By painting with such broad strokes,
Prosecuting
she's obviously
OnlyFans
ignoring
models,
the
huh?
population of women who
Okay.
do manage to
Love
be
that.
happy in spite pride of not starting a family of their own. Maybe not everyone wants to wear trad dresses and cook for their husband instead of following a career path of their own. Although you can.
Hey, what's going on, Miss Brown? Welcome in, welcome in.
You from living however you want to live.
We're getting red pilled as fuck for the beginning of the new year, 2024, baby.
Either willfully or
we're turning misogyny up to 11. Go make me a sandwich. What's up, Miss Brown? How you doing tonight? How is your new year?
Necessary for society to function. I mean, isn't that what Pearl's doing? She's self-sufficient enough without a man, I thought.
What do I want it on? Whole wheat bread.
Dad helping me with like YouTube channel. I'm a woman.
Turkey, please. Actually, I'd really like a turkey sandwich right now, honestly.
But it's not like every woman on earth needs a man to help them build a basic fucking bed frame from IKEA. I'm sorry, but I'm floored.
You can't build a bed frame?
This is the single easiest piece of furniture to build, and you're saying you need someone else to come in and save the day?
What?
God, pick yourself up, Pearl. Why would you admit to that?
2 weeks out from the house closing. Let's go. Love that.
Without revealing just how limited her perspective on the world really is. Despite making it her entire brand, Pearl doesn't really know what guys look for in a partner. She thinks she does, but that's because she's either hanging around the wrong people or just projecting again.
Seriously, what do women bring in 2022 that is special? Nothing. Do
sandwiches.
Most women have a cookbook? Do most women really know how to cater to a man? No. Are most women virgins on their wedding day? No. So what do most women bring in 2022 that is special?
But I mean, is that truly all she believes women can offer? Virginity and a cookbook? What about companionship?
That's right, baby.
Guidance or communication? Or
that's all women are good for. Virginity and sandwiches, bitch.
Always boil down to
get back in the kitchen. Make me a sandwich.
I promise you, that's just not what all people care exclusively about when looking for
I do now.
It's also interesting
after watching this, I have been awoken to the truth.
She isn't one.
This is probably too far, but imagine, okay, you could go to the gynecologist to prove your virginity on your wedding day, right? And there was some sort of like prize, like $10,000, $5,000, whatever like a lifetime of child support would cost. You just put that for virginity on the wedding.
Doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being
Oh
a
yeah,
virgin? So you
Pearl is like the ultimate pick me,
You've
1000%.
spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity,
She's a huge pick me that hasn't been picked. I think that's literally the name of this video.
Yeah, this is such a recurring theme.
The tragic tale of Just Pearly Things, the unpickable pick me. Yeah.
Where she pulls out a whiteboard and
because she's literally still single.
Virginity and aging and whatever else Pearl likes
which is awesome.
On throughout the day.
In most cases, virginity is the most valuable thing you can give to a guy. It is so powerful. Like that is the most beautiful gift you can give to someone. However,
oh no, I would appreciate hugs. I like hugs.
Count.
Jesus, Pearl, you sure that's your dominant hand?
Men aren't lining up to date fat chicks. A dude will take an OnlyFans model with 100 bodies before he takes a fat chick. I'm sorry, I don't make rules.
She loves to say that she doesn't make the rules, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what she's doing here. You can literally watch her brain struggle to invent bullet points on the spot here, and none of it's planned. None of it's based in any underlying data, at least none that she cites here.
Men are just happy to have a warm hole. Holy shit. I don't think they care about virginity. Yo, Brown, that is a that's a warm take.
Or just nothing is being said.
Fuck! That's a take, Miss Brown.
Smashed in with the baseball bat, but she's a virgin, or
holy shit! That's I just wanted to say some out of pocket shit.
20 bodies.
Oh my God. Oh.
And that's what I'm saying. Your virginity, it's valuable, but it's not valuable if you're a whale or you're ugly.
At a certain point, it's just depressing to listen to.
If you're a whale, you're ugly.
To think that if you're an older woman or you don't see yourself as conventionally attractive, then you're lost in the dating market. Why is that the message you want to put into the world?
Men value youth. Youth goes with purity. But if you're over a certain age, nobody's lining up for a 41-year-old virgin. If you're over the age of, should we give him 28? Men are starting to question what's wrong with you. Why are you a virgin at 30? If a dude is looking at you,
I mean, she is right about that. She's very right about that. I will give Pearl this one. I will give her that. If you're 30 and you're a virgin, I have questions. I have follow-up questions.
saying this is a new BMW, or I could get a
That's why I question myself in the mirror every night. I'm a 30-year-old virgin.
slightly used BMW for a lot lower price with, some mileage, but low mileage. Who are you picking? Low Right.
Because it's like the outside is pretty, but the inside is just yucky.
I'd be sad if someone like my sister was watching this and taking Pearl's words to heart here. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
of course, by the end of it,
that's
she's
genuinely
great with cars.
concerning.
Where have I heard that before?
Every single one of my cars, there is a scenario in which
If you make it to 40 without losing your virginity, you become a wizard? Holy shit, I've only got a couple more years to go. Let's
call
go!
that bitch, you want to you call that bitch. The house needs cleaning, you call that bitch. But I don't want anyone to think I'm sexist or misogynist.
It obviously
Jesus
didn't
Christ,
take long
fucking
for
Andrew
Pearl to
Tate.
grab the attention of the man who paved the way for her lucrative new business, cozying up with those who pioneered an industry of misogyny so airheads like Pearl could come along and steal the show by ripping all of their talking points, which in turn just boosted her reputation even more. Out of all of Pearl's podcast appearances though, the most controversial came when she brilliantly decided to bring self-described white nationalist and I guess now
See, this is what I was talking about earlier. Nick Fuentes is a straight up Nazi. Straight up Nazi. That's not an inference. That's not an exaggeration. That's not a presumption. He is a self-titled white nationalist. He's a Nazi.
To bring self-described white nationalist.
This is the same dude who's hanging out with Kanye when he started doing all of his anti-Semitic bullshit and saying that he loved Hitler and shit. He was hanging out with Nick Fuentes.
And I guess now advocate for child grooming, Nick Fuentes onto her show, The Pregame, which I haven't talked a lot about yet because it is so painstakingly boring.
Okay. What was I gonna? When do you notice a woman's looks start to fade?
The pregame usually just consists of Pearl dragging whatever random women she can find onto a panel and strong-arming them into agreeing with her takes. You can watch her physically preparing to jump down the throat of anyone who dares speak out against her. It's just such an unwelcoming format.
I wouldn't recommend for someone to stay in an abusive relationship. So if someone's being
Why is abusive the first thing that comes to your head?
Because I'm not saying that's the first thing.
It's the
but
first thing you said.
Yeah, but I've known women that have left from relationships because of physical abuse.
Is that the
and
majority?
I can't really speak for the majority.
You think the majority of men are abusing women? You think that's probable?
Man, she didn't even say that! Pearl hears what she wants to hear and doesn't settle for anything less than the absolute most generalized terms by diminishing nuance.
I honestly think she's doing it for clout. I think she's clout farming. This has to be an act, right? There's no shot that this is real. Like, she's not a real person.
No, it depends.
This has to be fucking farming incels for rage bait, right? To make money.
Step out of line.
That's what I
The
think.
lady is simply doing is trying to bring up the facts, and I agree that we should actually be holding men.
But
and
it's
women
also
equally
wild that
accountable.
she's so thirsty for clout that she's literally like destroying her like IRL friendships and shit. Like we saw earlier, her best friend stopped hanging out with her and shit.
But that's just what usually happens. The episode with Nick Fuentes is a little different, given that she doesn't actually argue with him at all. In fact, she just offers his cretinous talking points about race mixing and slavery credibility by agreeing with him at times.
This sounds similar to the.
Imagine being her best friend,
too,
right?
Because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't.
Hold on. Hold on.
Sounds,
Hold on.
Actually,
I gotta hear this take. Everybody shut the fuck up. Everybody shut the fuck up. I gotta hear this take.
Argue with him at all. In fact, she just offers his cretinous talking points about race mixing and slavery credibility by agreeing with him at times.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
So that was Pearl.
Bye, Sally. If you're still there, if you could see me or hear me, bye. Have a good night. Fuck, man. So yeah, slavery wasn't that bad. It was, you know, it was chill shit. You know what I mean? It's no big deal. NBD. It's fine. Fuck. Yeah, Okay, sure.
Perpetuating the idea that slavery was
why not?
embellished. But hold on. Yeah, we'll get back to that. Throughout this 3-hour podcast,
3 hours
to share why he believes the Holocaust was also embellished, casually laughing along while he rattles off the various Jewish entities that he says want to control us or whatever. I'm not even sure how much I could play here, but at one point Nick refers to himself as a Holocaust revisionist while disputing the actual number of people killed in the genocide. So I think that's all you need to know. It was only after she received criticism, though, that Pearl strangely removed this interview from the face of her channel, along with issuing an apology.
I want to first say I take full accountability for everything that happened. Everything that happens in life, as I say to the girls on my show, is my own fault. The fact that people are making these videos is my own fault. And the situation that I'm in is my own fault.
Come on, Pearl, don't backpedal on me like this. You happily put this episode out into the world. Don't deprive us of it now because you got scared of the woke mob. Don't tell me you're scared, Pearl.
In between the time that we booked you to come on the show and you actually coming on the show, you had a guy called Nick Fuentes that you interviewed.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, you had him on, and then you took that interview down and apologized. So what happened with that whole thing?
Oh, I can't talk too much. There's like legal things going on.
There's legal things going on.
Yeah, there's not with Nick, but just but there's
So then
I have a video.
why can't you talk about it?
So you guys have to wait for the video.
That video dropped a month later where she seemed to issue a full retraction of her original apology.
What was that? ABBA and Preach, I think. I don't like those guys either. Not a big fan. I've only seen one or two of their videos, but
her original apology, and instead opted to go even harder against her critics. But what led to such a sudden and massive change of heart, I wonder? She was willing to take accountability before realizing how beneficial it was to appease the audience of Nazi sympathizers she's garnered, reinforcing this new position a month later by calling Nick a nice guy, actually, and a great guest.
guys, you think I could pull this off?
He's a nice
Do you think
guy.
I could start being a right-wing reactionary Twitch streamer?
Stuff he was talking about, I didn't really
Like if I could be like the
studying
black
for
Nazi guy on Twitch, y'all think that would pop off for me? I'll be the Kanye of Twitch.
Maybe don't have him on the show. I don't know. It's just something I thought of just now.
But I will say, I did not find him to be racist. And my staff actually did not find him to be racist.
Okay, roll the clip.
I said to her that it wasn't a good idea having Nick Fuentes on there, and I said that he is a racist, bro.
I don't wish luck to racists.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit racist.
So I did know that he was
Racist?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit racist.
So I did know that he was known racist.
And in fact, in your apology, you said that he said racist things.
Well, there's a video coming out about all of that. His argument is more about culture. It's easier if you date.
All right, I just
someone in your culture. She was like being a bit like combative to him, and to me, he was just like kidding.
Oh, he's just kidding. I forgot. Yeah, he's kidding. I mean, this is a guy
That's
who
cool.
built his career
Totally okay.
railing
It's
against
fine.
race mixing.
So it's like you have this line that goes all the way up to you, and then after, like, then your kids, grandkids, great grandkids, and then they're gonna be like aliens.
But hasn't that always happened in history? Like they would kill. That's what they would do. They would kill the men and take the women and the children, and then they'd have kids with those women. So it's like,
yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Good comparison.
And your line of defense is that he was just kidding when he said this to your co-host.
Hey, the Italians don't claim you. You're the one dating a black guy. The Italians don't claim me. They don't claim you.
Incredible.
He was really polite. He showed up on time. My opinion is that he was polite overall. He was a good guest.
Now, as long as he was not and showed up on time, I guess it's okay that he thinks slavery was embellished. Not a big deal, right?
He did a panel and he spoke about his opinions on race mixing, and a lot of people agreed with him.
Okay, but that doesn't change whether it's racist or not.
When he spoke about it on the show,
Correct.
it was more about culture than race.
This is another moment where I cannot tell if Pearl is being dumb or disingenuous. If we look through Nick's career,
It's gotta be disingenuous, right?
Why he has an issue.
She
with
has
dating
to
outside of
know.
one's
She has to
race,
be
and
doing
no,
this on
it doesn't
purpose for
have
clout.
To do exclusively with
I
culture.
refuse to believe that this person.
Yeah, I'm not with that.
Wow, what a wacky, silly guy. What a goofy little goober he is for denying the Holocaust. Holocaust on your show, Pearl. I feel like I'm slowly losing consciousness watching this interview. These guys are talking to her like she's in 3rd grade, and yet she still can't understand the gravity of endorsing a neo-Nazi.
I refuse to believe that she
Plus, her
doesn't
comment
understand.
sections on
She's
the
doing
clips
it for
that she hasn't
clicks.
taken down look like this, so you can't deny that Pearl is sending some people his way.
Well, what I'm a bit confused about is you did a whole apology. But it sounds like you're not
asking me about this.
And this is all just another great example of Pearl having to reap what she sows. Sure, she has a lot of fun saying all these ridiculous things, but when it comes to actually being confronted by them in any meaningful way, well, that's where the cracks begin to form. We saw it a bit during the course of this interview, but not to the extent as
The
which she made the
H3,
mistake
yeah.
of walking.
Bro, this was crazy. Is this a whole section about it? Yeah, it is. A whole section about this interview was crazy. This is what like basically brought her to my attention when I saw this, and I started looking into her a little bit after that. This was wild.
Into the lion's den with Ethan Klein a couple months later.
Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
same, Brown. Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
we fixed it.
Hi,
how are you?
Your feed looks good. You sound good.
Like
Thank you.
I'm not a huge H3 fan or anything like that, but I do watch some of his stuff sometimes, or some of their stuff. It's like him and his wife, right? Like I watch some of their stuff. And I don't have a problem with it. Like I'm just not like a huge fan, but I do like what I see from them.
Hi, how are you?
Your feed looks good. You sound good. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Ethan's approach is pretty effective in the sense that he stays calm and asks common sense questions that lead Pearl to expose the ridiculousness of her own arguments without him having to actually do much. Pearl's half-baked opinions kind of speak for themselves. Like
I'm
her
a fan of
stance on
theirs.
divorce,
I love that
which is so
they
completely devoid
bring
of
light to some
research and
seriously
passion,
shitty
but she's
people and call their
forced into
asses out.
conceding that,
Yeah,
I
most
guess
of the time I've
one-sided
seen
physical abuse
H3, it's
could
calling
warrant
people
divorce,
out. Like,
but that's
I
it.
also saw their
Divorce should
thing about
otherwise be
Keemstar.
strictly illegal
Keemstar is a
across the
fucking
board
garbage
in
human
just
being as well.
society. But obviously, even that position is complicated.
I want to say Keemstar is when, like, I knew H3 existed, but the first time I actually watched was
for
the
those
Keemstar
exceptions,
thing.
But I've even talked to people that work at like abuse centers, and they say that the majority of abuse is mutual. So it's not just one side's hitting the other; it's like mutual. So I
But it's not healthier either.
Mm-hmm. I think the goal should be to keep families together, and that the goal should be to work through it.
Okay, but what if they can't? Do married couples really deserve to be locked into a situation that is actively hurting both of them? Would you really wish for your parents to stay together when they're physically and verbally demeaning each other in front of you every day? What good could ever possibly come from being forced to grow up around such a dangerous, vitriolic environment? Having to watch your parents constantly at each other's throat all because the government says that's the way it should be. If Pearl had her way, divorce would also be handled in criminal court as opposed to family court. But she again completely neglects the mental and logistical toll it takes for a mother or father to go through the arduous process of criminally charging the other parent of their kids. I'd wager that a lot of parents probably don't want to go through that extra headache when they're already juggling so
I hope he's going to
much.
show
But
more
Pearl
clips from that
knows
interview
because
because
as
it was
she tells
really good.
Ethan, she'd rather strip every existing incentive there is to separate from your spouse, which really means she doesn't want single mothers getting support from the government after leaving a situation that wasn't good for them.
Well, I think you first have to get rid of incentives that incentivize like women to leave families. So, like, you know,
What are
for
those
example,
incentives,
child
Pearl?
support, alimony. I'm not really a fan of those.
She makes it clear that
Okay.
she wants as many legal hurdles as possible to discourage a divorce, even when there is one-sided abuse happening. But Pearl lives in a fantasy world where wives are leaving their families in droves for financial gain, completely ignoring the copious number of studies that show actually most women on average end up in a worse financial position after divorce compared to men.
The reason I think women leave more is because we're incentivized to do so to the point we're paid.
They're paying
Divorce made women
Again, if you're
rich,
gonna say
huh?
something so
Is that what that
extreme, you
said?
better be ready to defend it. But as Pearl has shown time and time again, she just isn't able to do that.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
So, in what way was slavery made to seem more horrible than it was?
That smirk on his face as soon as he says that shit.
We were talking about, and I don't really want to go into this too much.
No, come on,
bet you
Pearl.
fucking don't. But just
Come
wait
on,
a minute,
Pearl, let's
because
go.
Ethan doesn't let up, twisting the knife and forcing her to confront her own statements on slavery.
Oh, do you agree with that premise that slavery was embellished, or no?
I think that there are parts that are under embellished and there are parts that are over embellished.
What parts, Pearl?
Depends what
That's
we're talking
so
about.
interesting. I've got to know what was over embellished about slavery. Just like one example, I'm dying to know.
You can just feel the tension in the air. Pearl has got to be regretting every life choice she's made up until this moment. I mean, just look at her face and look at Ethan's face. Pearl squirms around the question a bit longer, trying to get out of it by pivoting to the book she read.
Yeah, I just rather. I mean, I was talking about a book that I read.
But unable to wiggle out of the hole she dug for herself, she resorts to calling foul play in a desperate move to make Ethan seem disingenuous.
I remember that.
When in reality, all he's done is use her own words against her.
I'd rather not get into this, so I'd really just rather not.
Okay.
Gee, I imagine why.
That's so interesting.
There are certain facts that we're not allowed to talk about.
Like what?
Yeah. I was kind of hoping this was like a good faith interview.
Okay, she just said parts of slavery were over embellished in this.
Yeah, literally. She just said that a few minutes ago in the interview. What the fuck are you talking about?
That he literally gives her an opportunity to disavow what she just said. And even then, she can't do it. She can't do it. I don't know why.
Just disavow it then. Just say, I don't think slavery was embellished. I mean, that's super easy. That's like a layup. Do you agree? You know what I mean?
I think
she can't lose her little Nazi following.
I don't really want to talk about it today. Again, there are certain facts you're not allowed to talk about, and I don't really.
What facts are those, Pearl?
She can't simply admit that slavery wasn't over embellished because she's a pandering hack who has to rely on the support of socially inept, brain-dead anti-Semites who will drop her the second it becomes convenient. That's why she's so careful with her words here. It's pathetic.
I'm communicating in the interview that I'm quoting an author.
Thomas Sowell compared Barack Obama to Adolf Hitler. Do you like that analogy? That's the author you're quoting.
Every time she tries to deflect to Thomas Sowell, there's a litany of things he has written that you can use as an example to discredit him. So even when
segregation isn't inherently unequal. In an opinion piece published in the National Review, Town Hall, and a few other conservative media outlets, Thomas Sowell discusses his reasoning on why, according to him, the ruling in the Supreme Court case Brown versus Board of Education was misguided. The purpose of this review will be to illustrate how Sowell's historical interpretations are biased and critique the specific problems in this article that arise from Thomas Sowell's emotional and politically driven approach. In Our Bad History, another reason not to be on Reddit.
It's written that you can use as an example to discredit him. So even when Pearl is trying to shirk accountability, she still gets questioned for even listening to this guy in the first place.
You also said George Washington was viewed from his slaves like a father.
Oof. Ain't no way, bro.
I don't remember.
I
think like if someone's a great and powerful man in history to the point like they're talking about him hundreds of years later.
Did he own slaves? George Washington.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, not a real man to me. I'm just saying.
No, his slaves actually like he had a really good relationship with them, and they considered him like a dad. I used to read actual slave accounts, and I was surprised how many didn't say bad things about their owners after they were free.
It's got to be so fun being.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine not talking shit about the person who enslaved you. I wonder why anybody
to just consume a bunch of writings and not consider the broader context of them.
She's the GOAT. Pearl is my new hero. She's my new fucking hero. New mascot for the channel, y'all.
Those kept hostage.
I'm gonna rebrand this whole Twitch channel. We're gonna be JustPearlyThings simps.
There was an explanation for that concept.
Stockholm syndrome played a thing. This girl's really trying to sit here and say like, yo, a lot of slaves actually love their masters because in a really fucked up psychological way, they had to learn to be able to endure.
To be able to survive. You know, the thing that you want to do for beat up women in their relationship, endure.
I mean, Ethan touches on this, but what would even be the point of bringing this up in the first place, other than to downplay the severity of slavery? People have a right to be disgusted by that, Pearl.
I thought we were talking about the issues.
They are trying to talk
these
about
are the
And
issues.
ironically, you don't want to talk about what parts of slavery were embellished. You can't go into the details, probably because you know how bad it would make you look. And that doesn't mean Ethan is being disingenuous. He's trying to get to the point of what you believe, and you aren't letting him because you're a cowardly grifter at heart. This exchange is a prime example of how Pearl cannot stand the heat from her own provocative statements, which is precisely why she will not last very long in this industry. She already isn't taken seriously by those she's attempting to win over, and in the red pill community, there are no half measures. You either go all the way or you don't go anywhere.
Let's go! This year we're going all the way with red pill, baby.
And then being
there
too
are no half
sheepish
measures,
and
bitch.
Embarrassed to defend herself on Ethan's show only exposes her as more of a charlatan. All she does is say things to rile people up. And I personally can't tell how much of it she believes and how much of it is just to appease Nazis. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Colleen Ballinger addresses allegations, defending herself in a 10-minute song she posted on YouTube.
Colleen Ballinger. Oh! Yo! This was only like a month or two ago, right? This was like 2 months ago.
Colleen Ballinger busted out the ukulele in response to grooming and pedophilia.
No, actually, that was like 6 months ago. Now I'm thinking about it.
July 2023.
July. Okay, yeah, 6 months ago. Oh God, do y'all remember this?
I can already hear the comments on this video.
Mind-blowing lyrics such as "not a groomer, just a loser," and "the only thing I've groomed is my Persian cat" left a lasting impression on all of us, if I had to guess. But none more so than Pearl, who stole Colleen's entire flow, not without adding a couple dashes of anti-Semitism and casual
Colleen
Holocaust
Ballinger,
nihilism,
yeah,
of
as
course.
you should.
My guess is that Pearl decided to neglect showering for a couple weeks.
Wait, hold on.
Holocaust denial.
We got to run that back.
Nihilism, of course.
Why can't we talk about the...
My guess is that Pearl decided to neglect showering.
What do you guys think that word was? What do y'all think that word was?
For a couple weeks to focus on crafting a song so bad, so upfront in its content that it's honestly more cringe than it is offensive. Just this brazen rhetoric masked as some quirky indie song poking fun at you know who.
Why can't we talk about the... without getting kicked off of YouTube? Now, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but
Continue.
I kinda wanna know why. Now there's all these conspiracy theories, and the more they talk, I think maybe they're right.
Yeah, just
Oh my
so
God.
lighthearted and fun, huh, Pearl?
Oh
So
my
silly.
God.
I'm not trying to be rude, but why can't we talk about the
The irony of asking why we can't have these conversations in a video with millions of views is pretty beautiful. Pearl certainly got whatever attention she was looking for, though.
This is
because, she's
insane.
entertaining Jewish conspiracy theories.
This is insane, bro. I didn't realize the rabbit hole went this fucking deep. I just saw clips of her and laughed at her, saw the H3 interview, laughed at her. Holy
Obviously,
shit.
the pushback to that is going to be massive and well-deserved. But once again, I guess she couldn't stand the heat, because she quickly took it down within 24 hours. But that doesn't mean it was going to be forgotten after she deleted. Pearl wasn't going to have the easiest time wiping people's
Everything on the
memories
internet is
that
forever.
fast, though she was stupid enough to make an appearance on Piers Morgan's talk show the following day.
But this week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled "Why Can't We Talk About the Jews," which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
Yo! 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 She did not expect that. Oh my God. Oh shit. I think I knocked over my light. Fuck. Hold on. Oh my God. Yo, he straight up blindsided the shit out of her. Her face is my everything. Her face in this moment is my everything.
on Piers Morgan's talk show the following day.
This week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews, which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
And just
Oh, it's so good. It's so
She's facing a
good.
major backlash for posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews, which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting.
This makes me so happy. This makes me irrationally happy. Oh, we're about to look that up. You know what? We're going to look that up right fucking now. Right now. Oh. We got it. She's wearing a red dress, right? Yeah, she's wearing red. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. This is I'm frothing at the mouth right now. Yes. This is everything I need and want right now. Piers Morgan is a complete dick, but he's done some good things too. Yeah, fuck Piers Morgan. This guy sucks. But still, I don't care. This is. Ooh.
Welcome back
Gimme.
Styled anti-feminist influencer who's creating major buzz online with a contrarian view. She's appeared in a couple of debates on this show. It's called Uncensored after all. We welcome any honestly held opinions. But this week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews, which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
Yes! Bro!
Now, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I kinda wanna know why. Now there's all these conspiracy theories, and the more they talk, I think maybe they're right. But I can't even listen to the convo.
Well, Pearl joins me now, along with the New York author and founder of End Jew Hatred, Brooke Goldstein, over in the States. All right, Pearl, you've come on the show a couple of times, right? We've had some spirited debates about feminism and stuff like that, and I thought you've made some good points, and it's got lots of traction. Then I wake up the other day and I see this thing that's trending involving you doing this song. And I couldn't really believe what I was watching. I didn't know.
She got blindsided so hard.
Did you find it funny? I mean, you know the backlash to it. I mean, you deleted it. You obviously thought you shouldn't have posted it.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you do that? Genuine question.
I mean, the point was more about cancel culture and people getting kicked off of social
Shut
media.
the
if you
fuck
finish
up.
The song.
What the
It
fuck
was
are you
more
talking
like,
about?
you can't talk about this topic without being canceled by the left and the right. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. It was kind of just like tongue in cheek.
Bro, she's
I didn't
backpedaling
really
so hard,
expect
it's
it to get that
crazy.
I also
She's got to be getting whiplash right
I
now.
say that, but that's not true.
I mean, Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. He's a Holocaust denier.
Uh-huh.
He said afterwards that you had dropped a diss track on the Jews, which he clearly took to be something which was, mocking Jewish people, talking about, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I want to know why. What do you want to know why?
Well, it was more like, why can't we talk about it? It wasn't like
you talked
one
about the
way or
more
the
conspiracy theories you've heard about Hitler and the Holocaust, presumably.
I'm a fan of conspiracy theory. Like, people think I'm part of the CIA. There's a whole conspiracy
Nobody
thing
thinks
online.
that.
And
Nobody
I'm
thinks
not
that,
for,
Pearl.
like silencing it either way. The point of the song isn't like I really have an opinion on the matter. It's more, I don't think we should ban people off of social media. So far so that I don't even, I think it should be illegal to ban anybody off of social media unless they're inciting violence. That was the point of the song. I'm not really, it was more like tongue-in-cheek.
But just to be clear, what are the conspiracy theories surrounding Hitler, which you feel the more you hear
Yes,
them,
Pearl,
the more you're
please,
interested
do
in them?
tell.
Well, I don't know because I can't hear them.
Huh?
I don't
well, you know the
because I
ones. You know the ones that Nick Fuentes.
Well, I wasn't even
even talking about Nick. I was thinking of Ye, to be honest. I don't know why they put that Nick was the inspiration for that song. I was thinking of Ye.
You are aware of the
He was also an out and about anti-Semite because he hangs out with Nick
I
Fuentes.
certainly am now. I just posted that song and I woke up and I was like, article. I was like, golly.
Right, but are you
This is
sorry?
crazy. You know, I think that, like, my whole point was that cancel culture is wrong. I am not speaking one way or the other about the issues.
Oh,
My
you clearly
question is,
are.
why are we canceled for talking about certain topics?
So you would allow Holocaust deniers to have space on social media to promote
long as-
Holocaust denials to millions of people? You have 2 million people who subscribe to your YouTube, right? That's a big audience
Well,
of people.
I'm not at 2 million yet. I'd like to be.
Right, but you have a lot of people that follow you on various social media.
For the
platforms.
record, she's still not
Put
at
a
2
video
million.
like that up, and there are going to
How
be
old
some
is this?
impressionable young minds going, hang on, what's Pearl saying?
5
Adolf
months ago,
Hitler?
still not at 2 million.
Not saying he's a good guy, but I want to know why. The more conspiracies theories I hear, the more I have to think about it.
But
I took that to mean that you agree with Fuentes and people like that.
Why did you cut off the end of the song? I said, but we can't even have the conversation.
What is the conversation you want to have?
Without being canceled
But
by
what's
the
the-
left and the right.
But what
the
is
point is any speech.
No,
I
Pearl,
think
it's not any speech.
speech.
It's not any speech. What is the conversation about Hitler and conspiracy theories and the Holocaust that you want to have?
I don't want to have any conversation. My lane is feminism. That's what
Well, you're
I'm
singing
talking
about Adolf Hitler.
Can I finish?
Yeah, but you are singing about Hitler.
Okay.
So you do want to have that conversation.
I want anybody that wants to speak on social media to be able to speak about what they want to talk about,
Including Holocaust
without
denial.
getting banned. Whatever they want to talk about.
Including Holocaust denial.
If they want to talk about that, as long as they're not inciting violence, I think people.
Of course they're inciting violence. They're inciting a hatred of
I think that
Jewish people.
Social media is the new town square, right? You used to be able to
Oh
go
my
and
God,
say your
this
opinion
fucking
in the town
talking
square.
point.
Now we have corporations censoring what can and cannot be said. And I think that's wrong. I think that should be illegal.
Well, let me bring in Brooke, who's been listening to this. Brooke, I don't think Pearl quite understands why the wording of this song, which she deleted, to be clear, so obviously realised this had not played out maybe the way she hoped. The offence it's caused to the Jewish community. Why was it so offensive?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on and for highlighting this issue. Not necessarily highlighting Pearl, but highlighting the issue that what you pointed out is that we're really facing a crisis of societal conscience, where someone like Pearl, who engages in hate speech, and actually the irony is she's complaining about being canceled, and yet she's on your platform. She has millions of viewers.
Okay. I don't know if you guys can't see this because of my camera. I just want to point out how funny this little blurb is at the bottom. Critically racist theory. I want to see this segment now.
On the internet and on social media, and she's complaining about being canceled. The crisis is that this is what is profitable now. This clickbait, this type of racial incitement is profitable on the internet. And you know, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to Pearl. I don't know if she's just plain stupid or she's actually quite intelligent and knows that what she's doing is so sensational that it's going to make her a lot of money. But I want to say one thing, Pearl will disappear. She will disappear like many others before her because this is something that's just a
That hit her. Look at how her face changes when she said that. Look at her face. Watch.
Pearl will disappear. She will disappear like
See?
many others before her because
Did you see
this
that?
is
You see
something
that
that's
gut
just
punch?
A moment in time. She's like a train wreck. It's like a car crash. You know, for example, you know you shouldn't be looking at it, but you can't take your eyes off it. But I want to make one more point. I think it's so important, especially on this platform. Hatred is taught. Nobody is born like this. And I talk about it a lot in my book about the dangers of hate education. And it's not something that we can debate, that we can engage in a rational argument with. You can see what her opinions are. She thinks women shouldn't vote, women shouldn't have the right to divorce. She thinks that women shouldn't be able to work. She says these
No, I didn't say
crazy
that.
Oh, that's so cringe. Bro, who sits there on like national fucking, this is a Piers Morgan, it's like the UK, right? Who is sitting there on national television going, based. Oh my God.
Things that women should vote.
I feel so awkward for her.
Women shouldn't be able to work. She says
I didn't say
crazy
that.
things
Now you're
about
putting words in my
Hitler.
mouth.
But there's
Now you're
no
putting words in my
rational.
mouth.
Please don't interrupt. There's no rational argument with someone like this, and this is a mistake that my community makes, the Jewish community, very often, that they think they can bring facts to the table, that they can debate somebody like Pearl, and it's, you're going to get somewhere. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to get somewhere only by shedding
shit on
the
you,
light
Pearl.
On this
She's
type
here to
of
shit
bigotry,
on
to
you,
expose
just like we are. I'm here right now to shit on Pearl. That's what I'm here for.
Let me go back
And to watch her get shit on.
Let me just offer you some advice, right? Because I don't think you're stupid. And in the 2 appearances you've made previously on this program, I thought it was interesting. It was controversial in some ways, but actually a lot of people would have agreed with some of the things he was saying. There's no question about that. But you seem to know where the line was. Someone like Nick Fuentes doesn't know where the line is. Someone like Kanye West, who I interviewed after he went on some weird anti-Semitic trope nonsense. Kanye's been wiped out by what he did, or what he said about the Jewish people, because there are certain things where I am absolutely in support of the concept of free speech, right? But you can't go around telling Jewish people the Holocaust didn't happen as Fuentes. And people like, Fuentes does say things like that.
But I'm not him. So you're bringing me up. So it's like.
No, but when you sing a song,
right,
and you talk about
who
Hitler,
determines what the line is, Pierce?
Well, I'm asking
who determines? Do you get to determine it?
No, I'm
Does she
asking,
get to determine
I'm asking you to.
Who gets to determine what the line is?
I'm asking you to work out in your head.
I'm saying the
you're not
line,
a stupid person.
The line.
When you say, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I want to know why. Right? When you talk about the more conspiracy theories about him I hear, the more I'm like, well, that's interesting. I'm just like agog that even now you don't seem to really grasp why singing that and releasing it to millions of people is incredibly offensive to Jewish people.
I think at the end of the day, Pierce, I don't think it's for you to determine what speech should
I'm
be
surprised she
allowed
hasn't completely broken down.
Why did you delete it?
Why did I delete it?
Yeah.
Because it was just a headache, Pierce.
Because you knew it was wrong?
I just think it's like.
Bro, she won't say
I'm
it.
trying to die on.
She won't say it because she's gotten too much clout and attention from hanging out with people like Nick Fuentes, and a lot of the fucking red pill community is a lot of fucking Nazi shit, fucking white supremacist horse shit, and fucking she can't lose that following. That's why she won't disavow it or say anything against it.
I didn't.
She'll keep trying to dance around it.
You released the video.
I also released 10 different videos about.
Yeah, but they're not all basically.
Topics
but they're not talking about Adolf Hitler, are they?
Are we not allowed to talk about him?
You can talk about Hitler right to the point you say the more conspiracy theories I hear about him.
Look, I think that anyone should be allowed to speak about any conspiracy theory on social media. That is my point. It's not about Hitler. It's not
if
about
you really
the
believe what you
Holocaust.
did wasn't wrong, you wouldn't have deleted it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
True.
Don't
That's
you think?
true.
I agree with Pearl.
Go on, bro.
Okay, we got a last minute twist, y'all. Interview's almost over. There's 4 minutes. We got a last minute twist. I gotta hear what the fuck she's about to say. I have to. Everybody shut the fuck up for a second.
Go on, bro.
If I may just say one thing, as an attorney, I have to say that I do agree with her, that I am a free speech purist. I think that even bigotry should be able to be spoken in the public sphere. But the problem of cancel culture is not against anti-Jewish speech. I think that's very clear. We see the scourge of anti-Semitism and Jew hatred rising on the internet. The problem is that there's no consequences for it, and the way that private companies
how are there no consequences for it?
Canceling is they're going after pro-Jewish speech. They're going after pro-Israel speech. I can't tell you how many times I'm contacted by people, and often my own clients, who are shut down on social media for saying anything positive about Jewish people, about Judaism, or about Israel. Yet these social media companies are unequally applied.
That's because Israel is engaging in genocide right now.
applying their own standards.
Straight up.
And, while they're, for example, shutting down COVID deniers, they are allowing Holocaust denial speech. They are allowing people like Pearl to spew her hatred. So if we are really free speech purists, and that's what we are saying that companies should do, they should allow all speech.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, I would just say this to you, Pearl.
Unless it's incitement to immediate violence.
Right, I would say this to you, Pearl.
So we agree.
No, Pearl, I would say this to you in conclusion.
We're all on the same team now.
That was her takeaway, huh?
Look, you deleted this, so you clearly felt bad about what you'd put up, or you wouldn't have deleted it. You accept that?
No.
You don't accept it?
I just, it's kind of a headache. I was like, well, it just seems like a lot of headache to me.
Right, or did you realize...
Yeah, she's going to cry in the car. She's going to cry in the car for sure.
The Jewish community, you crossed a line that you yourself should have worked out was there.
Look, at the end of the day, Pierce, the song was about freedom of speech. It wasn't one way or the other. The song was about why can't we have these conversations on social media, and why do I keep getting...
About why Hitler may be a good guy.
And why do I keep seeing people get banned on social media? My point is, I don't think there should be a line unless you are inciting violence.
Here's a line.
Pierce, would we agree on that?
Listen,
yes or no? Yes or no? Would we agree?
Here's my point.
No? Yes?
You haven't answered my question.
Okay.
I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I want to know why. I want to know why what?
We can't have the conversation without being canceled by the left and the right. I just don't understand why you guys edit. You guys cut out the end of the song.
Paul.
You did 75. Okay.
The conversation about whether Hitler was a good guy. You want to have that conversation?
I think that
he murdered 12 million people,
my whole
including
point,
6 million Jewish people on a Holocaust.
My whole point is we should be able to have that conversation.
But whether he's a good guy.
Yes, because
Bro, watching her fucking flounder right now is insane in real time.
I think it's wrong to censor anybody.
Well, you know what? You can have that conversation. You had that conversation. You posted it. You haven't been cancelled. I've had you on the show because I thought you might, with time, to think about this, regret what you did, because you can clearly, you're not stupid. You do understand the offence it caused. And wanting to have the right to debate whether Hitler's a good guy is just cretinous.
No, I want anybody to be able to speak on any platform. That was the point of the song.
Bro, she's about to cry right now. Did you hear that in her voice? She's about to cry.
I want anybody to be
like, I'm not tripping, right? Y'all hear that? She's totally about to cry.
Right to debate whether Hitler's a good guy is just cretinous.
No, I want anybody to be able to speak on any platform. That was the point of the song.
All right. Let's leave it there.
Can I point out a nuance here?
I've got Brooke, I'm sorry. I'm afraid we've run out of time, but thank you for coming on the programme. I greatly appreciate it. And Pearl, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Crazy. Yo. Yeah, this whole thing is crazy, too. Yesterday, they released a whole bunch of unredacted fucking shit from the Epstein trial, which was also crazy. I totally forgot that I paused it here. When I closed the window and it came at me, I got scared for like half a second. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, oh my God. Oh shit. Fuck. Okay, let's finish this up.
Dedicated to far-right
oh my God.
Before later deleted it.
And just so we're completely clear, this wasn't Pearl's first rodeo. She had been a guest on Pierce's show a number of times.
Yeah, I'm so glad we watched that interview. I'm so glad. It was a straight up jump scare.
She had a blast spouting off whatever garbage she thought was funny at the time, because Pierce never really got in the way. He may have disagreed, but he never really held her accountable for anything on a serious level. So Pearl definitely had her guard down by the time she walked into her third appearance to discuss the elephant in the room. Although the way she reacts to her song being played live on air makes me wonder if she even knew what they'd be discussing here at all. I mean, she looks
didn't.
betrayed.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she had no
she got
idea
blindsided
they'd be bringing
hard.
this up. But I can tell you for absolute certain, she hardly expected Pierce to react the way he did.
Then I wake up the other day and I see this thing that's trending involving you doing this song. And I couldn't really believe what I was watching. I didn't know, why did you find it funny?
No, she wants to run. She wants to run so bad, so fast, and so far.
I thought you shouldn't have posted it. Why did you do that? Genuine question.
Oh my god, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts to fucking watch.
Bro, I'm about to. I don't think I'm
every
subscribed to JustPearlyThings here, but I'm about to subscribe to him.
Why we can't talk about the Jews on national
We need to
television
watch more of these
founder of
videos.
Jew hatred
Why
and
am I
an
not
audience of
subscribed to
1
this
million
man?
people. This is the face of someone who royally fucked up.
Why did you do that? Genuine question.
I mean, the point was more about cancel culture and people getting kicked off of social media if you finished the song. It was more about, like, you can't talk about this topic without being canceled by the left and the right. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. It was kind of just like tongue-in-cheek.
But just to be clear, what are the conspiracy theories surrounding Hitler, which you feel the more you hear them, the more you're interested in them?
Well, I don't know because I can't hear them.
Huh?
I don't
well, you know the
because
ones that Nick Fuentes.
Well, I wasn't even talking about Nick.
Despite my issues with him, Pierce does a pretty effective job impressing Pearl on some of the vagueness. Of
Yeah,
like what?
I'll give him that. I'll give him that. I don't like Piers Morgan personally. I've seen enough interviews with him where I don't like him, but he did do a good job in this interview for sure. Like she had her back against the wall the whole time, no matter how much she tried to like fucking wriggle her way out of it.
Exactly. What about the Holocaust can we not talk about?
But we can't even have the conversation.
What is the conversation you want to have?
Without being canceled by the left and the right. The point is any speech.
No,
I think
it's not any speech. It's not any speech. What is the conversation about Hitler and conspiracy theories and the Holocaust that you want to have?
I don't want to have any conversation. My lane is feminism. That's what
you're singing about Adolf Hitler.
Can I finish?
Yeah, but you are singing about Hitler.
Also, maybe I'm crazy or something, but not having a strong opinion on Hitler is still kind of having an opinion on Hitler.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that take. Not having an opinion about Hitler is kind of having an opinion about Hitler. Fuck. I didn't think this.
want to talk about that as long as they're not inciting violence.
Her own position on this.
Her parents have to be ashamed of her. Have to be.
Whatever you want on social media, unless it incites violence. But I would argue Jewish conspiracies have historically incited pretty much exactly that. So she's just full of shit. Pearl knows damn well the song was never about having honest conversations. Even deeper into this discussion, you can tell she isn't taking any of it seriously.
She thinks women shouldn't vote. Women shouldn't have the right to divorce. She thinks that women shouldn't be able.
Who the wants to listen to this anyway? It's just so juvenile and annoying. The thing about Pearl that she clearly doesn't
That's a
seem
grown-ass
to
woman
saying
saying base in an interview on national television.
She can
Crazy.
have whatever gross conversation she
Crazy.
desires, but the consequences are a whole different story. It's the consequences Pearl isn't willing to deal with. She can't handle the repercussions of her own statements, which is why she went on an embarrassing multi-tweet cryfest about Piers Morgan after the show. Why does Piers Morgan believe in censorship with a platform called Uncensored? Hashtag when uncensored becomes censored. You did an incredibly stupid thing with your now deleted Hitler video. As I said to you after our interview, own your mistake and apologize for the offense you caused Jews. Or ignore my advice and be condemned as Kanye was for pulling similar anti-Semitic stunts. Your choice. Apologize to the woke mob or be deplatformed like Kanye. Is that a threat? She said to thunderous applause.
How did I miss this on Twitter? Like I said earlier, man, I am a brain-dead Twitter scroller, and I did not fucking see it.
I'm still waiting on my questions about freedom of speech. Piers Morgan team also told me I couldn't go on the show to discuss other topics if I didn't do this general discussion around free speech. Whops. I wish I could emphasize into words just how many times they told me and my assistant they were trying to build a relationship and not an attack. Piers is on your side. He believes in freedom of speech. Is that fair, honest journalism? They set up their guests and lied to me about who I was debating till right before and falsely defamed me as anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic, but the word but should never come after a statement like that, by the way.
No.
I believe in the right to have all conversational online, no matter how offensive. But Pearl really isn't as committed to having these conversationals as she may claim to be. Pearl just wants us to give her arguments validity without actually challenging them. She doesn't want to be put in a position to defend herself. She just wants a platform to spew harmful narratives with no pushback. She's created a safe space for her and her viewers to be
right, Rumple. I'm not an insert thing here, but
her original video was met with wide positive reception before she deleted it, and she only deleted it because she didn't want to have a conversation about it.
Hold on, I want to see some of those tweets. I see my boy Nick rubbed off on you. Lamau, Based Pearl, great song, beautiful song, but they will destroy you for this. The bad guys won. Time for Christendom to retake the West. Finally made a good song. Nice playing and performance, great song. Base Jew exposer. Hitler was right. This is why you can't talk about it on YouTube. Oh, Jesus. All right.
Deleted it. And she only deleted it because she didn't want to have a conversation about it. Literally, according to her, she didn't want to deal with the headache.
So you clearly felt bad about what you'd put up, or you wouldn't have deleted it. You accept it?
Right.
No.
You don't
But I
accept
thought you wanted to have a conversation, Pearl.
Like, I was like,
But you deleted it because you didn't want the headache of the conversation. What the fuck?
Right. Why even become a controversial media personality who claims to embrace free and honest discussions about taboo subjects in the first place then? If you don't want criticism, then don't engage. Though as Pearl has stated, her ultimate goal is to create her very own talk show network, the Audacity Network, to function as the Fox News of YouTube, which I think we can all agree is a pretty solid premise. I mean, she already sounds like Fox.
Invest in gold with Noble Asset Investments. You will also get a 24-karat quarter-ounce gold standard coin for free.
I'm going to do something completely revolutionary. I've always known that this is something God has called me to do. The Audacity Network will make media for children, movies, etc. We will make alternatives for people that
Who spells
are sick
etc.
of
with
this
an
woke
X?
bullshit. Media
Who does that?
is not going anywhere. We should at least have media we could show our children that isn't woke and leftist. The investors we have are insane. There is a demand for a network that believes in gender roles, that believes in truth, a network that actually has the audacity. The Audacity Network will be bigger than Talk TV, mark my words. I'm building the best team in the country right now. You will not be able to stop us. Maybe the first network that exclusive pays in Bitcoin. Banger idea, Pearl. I'm sure that couldn't go wrong. The Audacity Network is going to be an openly Catholic network that promotes freedom of speech. No talent is welcome that goes against what we stand for. Okay, the Audacity Network is going to be the biggest network on the planet. It's going to rival mainstream media in 10 years, mark my words, which is something I'm personally very much
I mean, she's not wrong. There's definitely fucking demand for shit like that. Look at fucking Ben Shapiro's network, whatever the fuck it's called. I forget what it's called.
looking forward to. We'll get to watch the Audacity
But Ben
Network
Shapiro has a
build
whole
themselves
ass
up
network
from under 2,000
based on
subscribers
reactionary
and 0
bullshit.
videos to a massive media powerhouse that rivals Fox and CNN. In fact, she's already signed her first talent. Talent might be a strong word, but she signed this person.
This year, I started a network. And what the network is it kind of like the way I saw it was sort of like a TV network, but on YouTube, where we have different shows that we host and different. I'm just a really creative person.
I mean, if anyone can make it work, it's Pearl. She can almost count to 100, so of course she knows how to build a media empire from the ground up. I just hope she doesn't alienate all of her future business partners like she's done in the past.
I'm making this video today that I didn't initially want to make. But there comes a time when we're all at a crossroad and have to make a decision.
Sarah Garvey is an independent influencer who runs in similar circles as Pearl. Eventually, he became the co-host of her show, The Pregame, after she relocated from Chicago to London. Garvey helped Pearl build a brand from the beginning. He played an active role in much of her content and considered her a friend up until March 2023, when he published this video accusing her of underpaying the people she signed to her network. Her previous one, not the Audacity Network, which hasn't really even launched yet. Now, Garvey was never signed to Pearl himself, but they were in talks.
I wonder if the
to
Audacity Network
develop
is a thing on
daily
YouTube.
topical news segment for her show. This would involve a contract. The arrangement they discussed meant that Garvey would show up to her studio 4 times a week and work from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., so about 40 hours per week. When asked about payment, Pearl supposedly told Garvey they'd split his ad revenue 70-30. That is 30%
the Audacity
to
Network
Garvey
has
and 70%
3
to
videos.
Pearl.
I said to her, okay, so what is my guaranteed fee at the end of the month? What is
3
the salary?
videos, 2
She
weeks
looks at
ago,
me
13 days
and she
ago,
says,
6 days ago.
We do not do guarantees.
2 videos are
and we do
Pearl
not
hosting,
do
and one is that
salaries.
other
She said
girl
she
that
does
they showed a
percentages.
second ago.
So I said,
The newest
okay,
one is that
cool.
other
Well,
girl.
what's the
I don't know who
percentage?
she is.
She said, Sarah, you're the high end, so you will get 7.
The videos are Quest for Exceptionalism, Men's Issues, decline of relationships, financial risks, and secularism, debunking myths, navigating gender stereotypes. Just out here killing the game right now with 8K, 24K, and 3K views, y'all. This is my next path, y'all. I'm about to become a fucking right-wing reactionary. I'm gonna get red pilled as fuck in 2024. Let's go.
So I said, fine, okay, let me listen. 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. Now she looked at me and she said, no. 70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah Garvey.
That's right. The cost of using Pearl's studio
My
is
light
apparently
keeps
worth
falling.
70%
My light
of
keeps
your
falling. Hold
channel's ad revenue for 3 years. And that was her premium deal, too. The contracts she gave other creators are alleged to be even more predatory. According to Garvey, the 2 other influencers signed to Pearl's network were only seeing 20% of the money they generated at most, while Pearl raked in the remaining 80%.
That's crazy. That's a crazy contract to have.
Wrong that ratio is.
And I said, hang on a minute.
An
So are you telling me
80-20
that's a
contract
high-end
is
contract?
out of control.
She said yes. I said, what's the low end? She said it's 10 to 15%. So essentially, she could be owning 80% of the content, the
No,
monetized
90%.
views
She said on the low end 10 to 15. That's 90%.
15% of the money. She said yes.
This caused an immediate rift within the manosphere, triggering Pearl's other co-host by the name of Auntie Jenny to respond to Garvey that same day. Being one of the 2 creators he alleged was signed to Pearl's 80-20 split, I was excited to hear her perspective, but most of this video is just her making personal attacks against Garvey for wearing cheap shoes.
You're bad-minded and you're bitter. You sound sad and bitter.
You
and then
bitter.
You know your 15 shoes.
Oi,
Your 15
oi, governor.
Yes, I checked because I'm that
You
kind of person.
bitter.
I looked inside and I saw Primark. I don't do this because I need the money. I do it because I ain't got nothing better to do because I'm retired.
I guess Jenny's point of view is that she's retired, so she doesn't care about the revenue split, but it still doesn't make it any less of an outrageous contract. Garvey still has a right to find his offer incredibly unreasonable. If you can't afford to pay people a decent wage, maybe don't hire them, or just ask your millionaire dad.
Okay, y'all couldn't see it, but this is hilarious. My camera is fucking covering up. This, whatever video this is, I presumably on her YouTube channel or whatever. This is an episode of Wife School. Just so you guys know, this is Wife School right here. We're gonna learn how to be wife from from Pearl.
Afford to pay people a decent wage, maybe don't hire them, or just ask your millionaire daddy for a bigger allowance next month. Pearl made sure to
This is my favorite video. Pearl is my new favorite person.
Not on her own platform, of course, but in
For
this
sure.
interview on a completely different person's channel.
A lot of times people don't understand the cost that goes into the back end of like running one of these things.
She begins by explaining that it's expensive to run a company, which
That's right,
nobody was
Zozo.
ever
That's right.
denying. It's just that you should probably not
See,
take
Zozo,
such a
what you have to
massive cut of
understand,
someone else's
what you have to understand is that Pearl's too busy making life better for all of us, teaching women how to be proper wives to get her own husband. You see? She's too busy.
revenue for 3
She's making the
consecutive
sacrifice.
years,
She's
especially
taking
when
one for
they're
the
in person
team.
working
You know what I'm
so
saying?
many hours on end for you, or sitting and doing nothing, as Pearl calls it.
You know, it's fine if you don't want to do that kind of deal.
That's
It's not
right.
for
That's right,
everybody.
Brown.
This is for
See,
someone
that's
who
what I'm
just wants to
saying,
sit
y'all.
down
She's an icon, y'all.
and do
Straight
nothing.
up. See, y'all are
just
starting to
come
come
to work
around
and
now. Y'all are
film
coming
and
around
not
to this
learn the
brilliant
equipment,
thought
not have to
process.
learn
We gotta
literally
humble ourselves and
I
listen.
mean, just
Listen to
imagine if
these
you heard
nuggets
your
of
own
wisdom, these
boss talk that
pearls
way
of
about
wisdom.
you. Turns out Pearl may be just as bad of a boss as she is a person.
I could come up on here and put some personal stuff about him if I wanted to. You know, that certainly would not make him look good. But like, I'm just not gonna do that.
Why did he turn against you?
I've just found that the bigger I get, it's just like people kind of turn.
That was
when they
brilliant.
get
You know it. Shut up, Shook.
opportunities to, like, make money or.
What an entitled, narcissistic response to that question. He turned around and left when he realized he could be doing better without you. You are the one pushing people away, Pearl.
I'm looking for people that
Oof.
like I worked a year and a half for free because I just wanted it. You know what a predatory deal is? A predatory deal is a 7-year contract.
So the
Why is she
time
not on
limit is what
camera
solely
also?
determines what's
Why is she
predatory,
giving an
whether it's
interview
3
of the
years or
roof?
7 years.
Or the
It's still
ceiling,
Too long
I
to
mean.
adhere to such an unbalanced revenue split. Once again, you're avoiding the point of contention.
Every person that I have is making more than they made before. So it's like, it's just really frustrating.
Well, you know what I tell you all the time.
the bullshit, stay above it, and get back to fucking work. Do the thing that you are talented at.
Yeah, the rest of this video is just this guy giving her advice that includes making her employees sign NDAs next time so they can't speak out at all.
Make these people sign to where they can't talk about the terms of the contract if they want to get into contract negotiations with you in the first place. Learn from your mistakes. And then go from there.
Crazy. That's crazy advice.
While Pearl maintains that these allegations from Garvey are false, she still admits that, well, the deal isn't for everybody. You don't have to take it if you don't want to. So are these claims about
He
the
can't spell
revenue
NDA?
split made up or not? Why can't you address that
Not only can
head-on?
he not spell it, but presumably he doesn't know how to pronounce non-disclosure.
Contemplating legal action, probably because the false copyright strikes against this channel didn't work. Yeah, that's another fun thing Pearl likes to do, is silence her opponents by abusing the YouTube copyright system when nothing else is working.
I'm
Not
shocked.
Only is this a
Shocked.
shameful last-ditch resort when you're completely out of moves to make, but it's also very much against YouTube's guidelines. But I wonder if Pearl is even aware of that. I guess all will be revealed in court one day, supposedly, but by that point, it's hard to say if enough people will still care about Pearl at all.
But
Oh, I
say
care.
one thing. Pearl
I care
will
a great
disappear.
deal.
She
Dear
will disappear,
deal.
like many others before her, because this is something that's just a moment in time. She's like a train wreck. It's
Critically
like a
racist
car
theory.
crash.
I still
You know,
love
for
that.
example, you can't.
You can kind of see it on the bottom. Critically racist theory.
The fame that she has amassed so far is really pretty shallow in the sense that Pearl's viewers only come for her talking.
We stand
points,
Pearl.
not so
I'm
much
saying
for
this is our new
Pearl
queen.
herself.
This is
Her
our
overnight
queen of
success can be
2024.
mostly attributed to the luck she's had
We've done
in
it.
milking
We've done it.
YouTube
We've already
shorts. But her
crowned our new
actual
queen for the
ability
year.
To cultivate a grassroots community of people who care about Pearl as an individual is pretty much non-existent. I mean, she doesn't say anything inspiring or insightful. She only appeals to hatred and anger. The rotating door of controversial influencers has seen countless versions of Pearl come and go over the years, none of them really leaving any meaningful impact beyond whatever shitstorm they managed to kick up before their timer inevitably runs out. While her status as a reactionary darling may one day dwindle, the damage she inflicts upon her reputation now will never be restored. We've seen Pearl hit this realization a few times. When her closest friends began leaving her behind, when Ethan Klein held her feet to the fire, and when Piers Morgan humiliated her live in front of a mainstream audience.
Yeah,
All
she
of
got
these
clapped the
instances,
fuck up in
mind
that
you, have been
interview.
a direct result of Pearl pandering to a community of losers who will absolutely turn on her the second she accidentally says something they don't like. Pearl has spent the entire past few years of her life tearing others down in order to lift herself up, positing herself as one of the few good women left in society. But that strategy can only take her so far, because what happens when your audience begins to see through the hypocrisy of your own existence? Pearl doesn't live
Well,
a
that
life
one is
anywhere
really
close
long,
to the one
I
she
think.
expects from other women. She's
Let me see.
unmarried, she isn't a virgin, she's hardly experienced or knowledgeable in any of the issues she engages in. She isn't built to last in the
Yeah,
industry
that's-
she so confidently poured so much time and effort into. But
You
I'm
guys should
afraid that
watch it.
sooner or later.
It's right here. We're not gonna watch it here because it's a 3.5 hour long podcast. And I've been streaming for like 5 hours now, and I'm about to hop off after this. But go check this out. Just search H3 Pearl. It's the first thing that comes up. And fucking yeah, I've seen this interview, and it's it's a good one.
She will be forced to accept that her choices come with inescapable consequences. Pearl has made her bed, and now she has no choice but to lay in it.
Yeah, for sure, Zozo. Definitely give it a watch. It's hilarious.
Assuming she can never finish building it.
This is the video that got me into this channel. Was this George Santos one. I like this channel. I went ahead and subscribed. Whenever he does another one, well, actually, maybe, well, he's got a whole bunch of videos here. Ooh, Logan Paul. We're gonna have to watch some of these at a later date. I'm definitely gonna add this to my regular rotation for sure, because this was a good video. It's really well fucking made. It seems well researched. I mean, I can't say that anything there that I thought was off base or anything, but again, I don't know much about fucking Pearl or whatever the fuck. I know a lot more about her now, and she is now our queen. She is now queen of the Blue Bomber channel. She is our pick me. We picked her. She is no longer a pick me because we picked her. Oh shit.